Good afternoon. How are you today? I hope you're fine. We're going to have another IELTS session for our students, and we'll learn, about IELTS. We're going to solve a reading comprehension, a reading passage from IELTS, and we'll be doing some speaking practice as well at the beginning, and at the end, we're going to discuss about one kind of essay, argument essay. Okay, so why don't we just check out IELTS first? What is IELTS? Just within the next 10 minutes, probably, we'll try to kind of cover what is IELTS, especially those who are new to IELTS. We'll get some idea about IELTS, and after that, we will hopefully by 7 we'll start our speaking session, and by 7:30 we will get into our reading section. Okay, so let's move on to some IELTS stuff. Okay, let's start from here. So what is this? This is basically the overview of IELTS. Here you see that IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. You need IELTS to get admission in almost any university or any institution in an English-speaking country. Mostly people, they do IELTS to get admission in Canada, Australia, the United States, England, New Zealand, all these. And these days, even in other countries, if you want to study in Germany or in other European countries as well, you need to show them that you're efficient in English, and getting an acceptable score in IELTS, it ensures that they will be satisfied that yes, you have the capability of just going through this course. So whatever course they will offer, and in most of the cases those are in English in those countries. Even it's not an English-speaking country in Germany, and most of the courses, so you'll be able to understand. Okay, let's see. In IELTS, so what's the high score you can get is 8. IELTS is okay. So say this is the high score you can get is 9. 9. That's the highest. And in Bangladesh, especially before the corona, this epidemic, you could sit for IELTS on 2 days. It could be on Saturday and Thursday for registration. You can register and you can sit for the exam on these 2 days. Okay, so if you registered on that day, on that given day, it could be Saturday or Thursday, you would start your exam at around, I think, usually 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. You start with the listening section. You start with the listening section, and it lasts for around 40 minutes. It has 4 sections. It has 40 questions, 10 or 11 types of questions. Some of the questions are very similar. So there will be an audio of, audio around 30 minutes. And while listening, you'll have to write the answers in your answer script. So, you're studying the exam at 1 p.m. and then it lasts for around 40 minutes. And then you move on to, and the highest score you can get is 9. If you can get 39 or 40 right out of the 40 questions, you'll get a 9 out of 9. If you get 37, 38, you get an 8.5. If you get 35, 36, 8. It works like that. Okay, so there is no official break. Then you move on to the reading section. The reading section, it lasts for 60 minutes. And this one lasts for 40. This is 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 1 hour. You'll have to solve 3 passages, and within that 3 passages, you'll get 40 questions, almost equally distributed among 3 passages and 12 or 13 types of questions. And here, 40 questions. It also works in the same way, especially the marking wise. Here, if you get 40 of those right, or even 39 in academic IELTS, you will be getting a 9 out of 9. Even 30, then 37, 38 is 8.5, 35, 36 is 8. Works like that. If you want to get a, say, 9 in 7 in reading, you'll have to get 31 or 32 right. In this section, the reading. Once you're done with the reading section, then you move on to the writing section. This is the writing. Writing section is also the high score you can get is 9. This is also a 1 hour exam. This part, there are 2 sections. There are task 1 and task 2. Task 1 is basically you'll have to write a report. It's a 150 words report. That's the minimum word limit, and they ask you to write around 20 minutes. There are usually 7 types of assignment you could be given, and you'll have to write one of them. You don't have any option. Whatever they give, they might give you a bar chart, they might give you a pie chart, a flow chart, process diagram, map, or table, whatever. You'll have to write that. So what are those? Pie chart, bar chart, line chart, table, chart, map, process diagram, and flow chart. There's another task that you'll have to do within that 1 hour. This one, usually you take task 1 for 20 minutes, and then the remaining 40 minutes you should spend on your task 2. Task 2 is an essay. It's an essay, the highest mark you can get in this essay is 6. The minimum number of words is 250 words. You should spend around 40 minutes there. Usually 5 types of essay. And there's no option. Whatever essay they will give, and these will cover all these essay. Whatever essays, usually those will be one of these essays. It could be opinion essays, it could be discussion essays, it could be problem solution essays, it could be advantage or disadvantage essays, it could be a double question essays. In the last class, in one of the last classes, we covered the double question essays. This one, and today, in the end of the class, today's class, we will be covering the opinion essay, and we'll see how it's structured, how it's written, the challenges that you might face in opinion essays, and we'll discuss about one complete answer and a very good answer. And okay, so these on that day, it could be on Saturday or it could be on Thursday. You'll start with the listening, then you'll move on to the reading, and then we'll move on to the writing. Basically, it's 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, 40 minutes exam. Usually there's no official break, but it takes more time because there's some administrative work. And you have, basically they will check 4 skills. These are the 3 skills, but there's one is left, that's the speaking. This one, this exam will take, is part of the IELTS, but this also, the highest you can get is 9. So here, this will take place on a separate day. It could be, if you're sitting for the Saturday exam, it could be some other day. It could be before Saturday or after Saturday, but within a week. So within 1 week before Saturday, or within after Saturday, within 1 week. Okay, so this is speaking. Speaking is just 11 to 14 minutes it lasts, and there are 3 parts. Part 1, some general question about yourself. Part 2 is a cue card, some specific they'll give you a topic you'll have to speak on that topic for 4 to 5, 1 to 2 minutes, but it lasts for 3 to 4 minutes. And the last part is the follow-up questions. They are going to ask you a few more questions on the topic they asked you on part 2, thematically connected. It's not exactly the same topic, but part 2 and part 3 is very closely connected. So whatever you get in these 4 sections, out of 9, 9, 9, and 9. So they will add it up. They will add it up, 9, whatever you get, and they will divide it by 4, and the average is your I-score. This is how it works. Right? Okay. So let me show you a little bit of, really the exam what you get. See, this is the listening real question. This is from a Cambridge book. So this is a real exam. See here, there are 4 sections, and the audio will play for 30 minutes. You'll have to write the answers here. Then you'll get 10 extra minutes to transfer this answer to an answer sheet. After that, we'll be moving on to a reading section. This is a reading section. There will be 3 passages. You see, this is the first passage. Usually 1 to 13. Here 1 to 13. This is the second passage, endless harvest. There are few questions, 12, 13 or 14, and this is the last one, the return of artificial intelligence. This is the last passage. So 3 passages. And so this is the writing exam. It's the writing exam. So it's a real exam question. This is a bar chart, and this is a writing. So this last, usually they ask you to spend around 20 minutes for this one, and this one for 40 minutes. This is a, what's that? Okay, it's a discussion essay. Okay, and let's move on to the other one. This is and this is the speaking. This is speaking sample. This is speaking sample. This one. See, this one lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. The second section is a cue card. Cue card, it takes 3 to 4 minutes, and the final section, it might take around another 4 to 5 minutes. These are the questions. It's a sample question. It's from a real IELTS exam, so they are going to ask you this question. It takes around 11 to 15 minutes. Okay, we are kind of just this an overview of IELTS, and hope you will join our classes now. We'll be starting our class now on this from the speaking section, and after that we'll be doing a reading. We'll be doing a reading, and finally, we'll be doing covering some writing as well. Okay, let's see what kind of questions you might get. So these are, these are the questions. These are some sample questions from task 1. It's a collection, and we have collected it, and we have meticulously collected this question. And I can kind of guarantee you, because this has been extensively researched and copied. And so, if you can cover this, these questions, very likely you're going to get common part 1. Very likely. I can almost guarantee you. Okay, so these are the part 1. These are the common types of questions. It might be on the first part, 4 to 5 minutes. Basically, these are questions about yourself. These are common questions. You shouldn't be having too much difficulty in answering, because you don't need any specialized knowledge to answer this question. So think about crime, about social media, about sky, about numbers, clothes and fashion, toys, clothes and party, walking, shopping, television, leisure time, litter, rubbish, robots, children. Okay, these are the common. Chocolate, fashion. Okay, so they will ask you a question. There will be just one examiner. They will try their best to make you comfortable. They will try to make you feel comfortable with these questions. They'll try to help you out so you can answer the questions. And then we'll move on to the second part. This is the cue card. This is the cue card. So this is the cue card. They will give you this card, only this card, and they'll give you a white piece of paper and a pencil. So you'll have to talk about this. So there's some hints, cues, and say describe something you own which is very important to you, where you got it from, how long you have had it, what you use it for, and explain why it is so important to you. So this is a question. You won't get any of these. They have many of these cards, so they will give you any particular any particular one, whichever they feel like. You can change it.
May I interfere?
Faria?
Sir, কেউ তো participant নেই স্যার, আপনারা আমি ছাড়া এখন।
Okay, probably they will be joining in. They will be just joining in. Okay, so so we'll start. I'll ask you a few questions. I'm just checking it out.
স্যার আমি মাত্র জয়েন করেছি, just 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
No problem. I'll be I'm just coming. Just a moment. And this is the last one, and this is the
last 2 classes absent ছিলাম, আমি বলেছিলাম আমার করোনা হয়েছিল।
Oh yes, Faria, yes. So how are you today? So how are you now?
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ভালো, কিন্তু স্যার মানে আমার এখন সেকেন্ড টেস্টটা করা হয়নি।
Oh, okay, but
তারপর বুঝা যাবে।
Okay.
Huh? আজকে 15 days.
Oh, আজকে 15 days. Yes, on the other days, I asked about others, how you're doing, and we were worried about you, and we kind of prayed for you. We were discussing questions, and so you can speak. Do you have pain in your, say while speaking, or no?
Yes, sir, I'm able to speak.
No, you can.
I have no problem about this. Even my corona was mild corona. Not so severe. That's why I joined your other class. But last 2 days I was so much sick about my high pressure.
Yes. I know. People are going through, especially your pressure, huh?
Yes, sir. I had high pressure.
I see. So
insomnia also. That's why I was absent.
Okay. So now today, hopefully, you are feeling better. Huh? You are feeling better than the other.
Better, but not actually.
Yes.
Comfortable, but better. Better from before.
Better. Okay. Hopefully, so God bless you. And this is part 2, and this moment, and this is part 3. So these are the part 3 questions. These are a little bit different, and we pray to God that and also we're grateful to God that but He didn't make your suffering severe, and let's pray to God that He helps everybody else, those who are experiencing the corona stuff. Okay. So
even my brother was affected also.
Affected. So he's okay now, kind of.
He has even no symptoms. Just
okay. He doesn't have any symptoms.
Throat in pains. Sorry, pains in throats. Just.
So what about you? In your case, what?
In my case, I was sick, but I felt some pain in my joints,
my joints,
and severe pain in my chest.
Yes.
The main problem, and throat. In my lip was also black.
Oh my God! You could eat. During
yes,
that.
I have no problem.
Oh, you didn't have problem at that time, but.
First of maybe my uncle, Dr. Kamrul Hassan, from IELTS Islam.
Oh, yes.
And from him, I was affected. First of all, he just affected from corona, and then all of my family members, my other cousins are affected from him, and then also me. And his family was in USA. That's why we're serving we're serving some food for him, and that's why I used to go to close to him, and that's why I'm affected.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Sir,
I didn't know that, huh?
as no one is here, that's why I'm talking to you about my personal.
Yeah, no problem, no problem, no
My,
problem. Yes.
মানে স্যার আমি বাংলাতে বলি।
হ্যাঁ,
হ্যাঁ, আমার মামা মেইনলি আপনাদের এখানে মানে আমার ইচ্ছা ছিল আইএলটিএস করার, বাট সেটা হচ্ছে আমি জাস্ট গ্রাজুয়েশন কমপ্লিট করেছি, বাট মানে কোথাও আর কি প্রিপারেশন নিব, তারপর
Okay.
দিনই হচ্ছে গিয়ে মানে ওই যে গভর্নমেন্ট ট্রেনিং শেষ করে
Yes.
আইফোন ডেভেলপার হিসেবে, তারপর দিনই লকডাউন হয়েছে, তো আমার কোথাও ভর্তি হওয়া হয়নি। এরপরে হচ্ছে আমার মামা জানতো যে আমার ইচ্ছা আছে, ইন্টারেস্ট আছে, পরে হচ্ছে মামার খুব ক্লোজ হচ্ছে মাকজান স্যার, তহিদুর রহমান মাকজানের। ওই উনি হচ্ছে পরে হচ্ছে আমাকে খুব রিকোয়েস্ট করলো যে আপনাদের যেন জয়েন করি, খুব ভালো হবে। পরে মামাও বললো, উনি অনেক ক্লোজ, মামা ছিলেন আর কি বিআরটি এর চেয়ারম্যান এন্ড জয়েন্ট সেক্রেটারি, এডিশনাল সেক্রেটারি হচ্ছে যোগাযোগ মন্ত্রণালয়, দ্যাটস ওয়াই হচ্ছে ওনাদের কানেকশন ছিল, ওভাবে আপনার এই প্রিন্সটন প্রিপারেশন সম্পর্কে আমার জানা, দেন আমি এখানে আসলাম।
Okay, so we can start. You can answer question probably. You can join in today. Okay, thank you. Okay, even after the class we can talk. We can even talk. We have few more participants. Yes, we have Mahmudul here as well. Okay, and we are happy to have you back among us, Arya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mahmudul, how are you? Mahmudul, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
You're here? Okay,
yes, sir. I'm fine.
You're fine.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Okay, so one of my friends, he got affected, say yesterday, and he's now in the hospital. He's kind of doing okay, but you never know. So, now and then you would just, you're getting this kind of news that somebody, he or she is in the hospital. So, is there anybody, any relative, anybody, you have heard that contacted with corona among your relatives or friends? Is there anybody or no?
I didn't understand.
No. I'm saying, I'm just saying that, say I have a friend, who got just yesterday. So, okay, so yeah, there are lots of people.
Can you repeat, please? I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying that we are finding our, people from our close circle getting affected. So, say Mahmudul or Faria, so you have your relatives as well?
Yes,
so
sir.
Okay, Faria, you have it.
And also my relatives also, and almost all are now in very good condition, alhamdulillah.
Okay, that's
and
very
my
good.
some cousins and relatives are doctor, they have suggested many things about this, and so if you need, you can message me personally, or I can talk you here.
Okay, thank you, because you experienced that, so that will help us a lot. Okay, thank you, Faria. What about Mahmudul? So Mahmudul, can I ask you some question? Can we practice some question?
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, let's practice some questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just a moment. Okay, so Mahmudul, do you drink much water every day, Mahmudul?
Yes, sir. I used to drink lots of water, almost 3 or 4 liters every day. So I don't have actual measure that how, but I like to drink.
Have actual measurement.
Yeah, I don't have actual measurement. Maybe after 1 or 2 hours later, every time I take 1 or 1.5 glass of water. So
okay, fine. Faria, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Say, did you drink a lot of water, in the last 15 days? You had
Yes,
to?
sir. Not lots of money, lots of
Lot. Okay,
water.
that's one of the.
Even in my whole life, I didn't
So,
drink
so do
as
you did
much
you
as
did you
water.
feel having water, or you had to? Did you feel having water, or you had to? That's why you had water.
Uh,
You drank water. So,
felt for water. As I have short throats, I felt for
okay.
water, and I had to, of
You
course,
you had
as
to at
doctor
the same
suggested.
time. Yes, at the same time. Okay.
My
So,
main was this, of
okay, fine. So
course.
let's talk about tea or coffee.
My,
Mahmudul, do you prefer to drink tea or coffee?
as chest pain, with chest pain.
Hmm. Hello, hello, Mahmudul,
Hello.
or Mahmudul, can
Sir,
you hear
can you
me?
repeat? Sir,
Okay,
I
so
having some network issue. Can you repeat
okay,
the
no
question you asked?
problem. So do you prefer to drink tea or coffee? I'm
Sir,
asking this question. This one.
okay, sir.
Uh,
Sir, I prefer milk. I prefer coffee over milk. Tea. So, whenever I find some opportunity to, I prepare my own coffee, and I like black coffee especially without any sugar and added any milk. So,
is
and
there
I
any
really,
particular reason? How do you develop this habit of
uh,
taking coffee rather
sir,
than tea?
I can remember it was almost um, about 1 years ago. I find a article
One year
on
ago, one
benefit.
year
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Ago, I find the article on benefits of having black coffee every day without any sugar or any milk. So I find it so helpful for health,
Okay,
because especially for the reduce burn the fat, extra
fine,
fat.
fine.
So I like, then from them, then I like to I started to have 1 glass of uh, black coffee every day.
Okay, so Faria, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when was the last time you drank some tea or coffee? When
Uh,
was the last time you drank some tea or coffee?
today morning,
Today morning. So
I
which one?
drank tea. And,
Tea. You drank
tea
tea.
is my most favorite things.
Okay,
I
tea.
love to drink tea always.
Okay, okay. What about coffee? Coffee. Coffee.
Sometimes I eat coffee. Yesterday I um,
You did.
drank tea, but sorry, drank
No,
coffee.
no. I took coffee.
Yes, sir. I took coffee, but today I will drink tea, of course, as
Tea.
tea is my
Okay, so
favorite one.
most of the time you prefer tea. Do you add sugar to tea, or take tea with
Mild sugar, as sugar is
punch sugar?
not benefited to us. That's why.
They're not beneficial. It's not that much conducive for health. Huh? Tea. Okay. So do you think these days people are taking less sugar?
Yes, sir, of
You know.
course. Even in this pandemic situation, taking lots of sugar is harmful to us. And
Okay.
as there are lots of diabetic patients in, of course, in my house, my mother is also a diabetic patient, and that's why we use less sugar in the tea or any food or any dessert we used to eat.
Okay. So, Mahmudul, so you're not going out, huh? I
Sir,
believe.
actually, every day, but I would like to. I try to stay at home, but yesterday I had to go out because of some issues. So
Some
I
issues.
had to go
Okay.
out, and I feel like, okay, maybe there is no problem in my country. Most of
Hmm.
the people I have seen, they are like gathering around and moving without any concern. So I
Okay.
feel
So
like
after how many months you
uh,
had to go out, or
it
days?
almost 3 months after
3 months.
I
You
3 months. Yes,
never
sir.
within
Sir,
the last 3 months. You never, not for a single time.
Sir,
In the last 2 months?
I go outside because to buy
You
some
you
stuff,
went out
necessary stuff. But yesterday I
Mhm.
went to the supermarket, shopping
on a
mall, like
supermarket.
yeah,
Okay.
shopping mall, sir. Yeah. So to buy mobile
So,
phone. So
huh,
that's why
mobile
uh,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
So which one? Which shopping mall did you go to?
It was in my sir locally shopping mall, which is at
In
Mirpur,
Mirpur?
yeah, Mirpur 12.
Was it
So
busy? Was it busy kind of? There are
yeah,
lots of
sir.
people?
They lots. I can say that many people are in the all the in the
A lot. So
shopping malls.
has it emboldened you? You know, you're more courageous today. You know, so now we'll go out more often, or no, or it's better not
Sir,
to.
I think most of the people who went to that shopping mall, they have some uh, like stuff to done, like they have some
Okay,
necessary
so
things to
you can't
bring
help it.
or buy.
Okay, so people are trying. You know,
Yeah.
those who
But sir,
can.
I can say that most of the people have their own protection. I have no any single person who aren't having any mask or face mask.
Okay,
Most of
okay,
the
they were.
people uh, have their own safety. And one thing I also noticed that the shopping mall authority like arrange some kind of a it's a kind of a measuring room where the and like
Okay, so why?
sanitization or automated sanitizing water is
Okay,
spraying.
so you're kind of saying that you know you're happy with the kind of precautions they're taking.
It I can say I'm not that much happy, but it at least it giving me I'm getting some confidence
Confidence, fine.
while moving around them.
So you know, after coming back, did you immediately take shower
Yeah, sir.
yesterday?
Yeah, sir.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately I take shower and I
Mhm.
change my all the dress I was put
Okay,
on earlier.
fine. Okay, let me ask, you know, Faria. So, what's your hobby, Faria? Or did you
Um,
you know get into a new hobby you know during this you know lockdown?
in lockdown, my hobby is playing guitar. But
Guitar. Okay, that's interesting.
yes, but generally my hobby is roaming about anywhere. Or as I'm a food lover, I used to go to restaurants to try new foods,
Okay.
or go to, sorry, Amma, sorry, sir.
No problem. No problem.
Sorry, sir,
No
my
problem.
mother was calling.
Sure. Sure.
I used to go out for hangouts with my friends, and
Hmm.
it's most favorite things in my life, and I called it my hobby, of course. And my another hobby is singing, but no, I'm not a
Hmm.
singer, but it's my hobby, and these are all things. Even I
Okay.
love to do crafts,
Crafts.
handcraft.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So, um, okay. So let me, Mahmoud, can I ask you, say, do you like to live in an apartment or in a house?
Uh, I'm living in an apartment.
You're living in
But
an apartment.
I
So,
love to use a big house with a beautiful garden as like our village houses,
okay.
and
So
that's
you
why I love my native village.
native village. I see. Okay. So if you get a chance, you know, in Dhaka, I think it's very unlikely. You know, it's very difficult to get a house with a garden. Huh?
Yes, sir. It's
These
very
days,
much.
these days, you know.
It's
So,
just very much hard, but if you want, then you can make a little
oh, okay,
garden
okay,
in veranda or
okay. So
balcony.
if you want, okay. So do you have one in your apartment?
Uh,
A small
Not
garden?
just so big, but a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, fine. Let me have. So, Mahmudul,
Yes, sir.
what you doing to keep yourself fit, physically fit
Uh,
during this lockdown period? Is there anything?
sir,
Any
I just started taking less amount of food in every time I eat. So that is one of my, I can say it was
strategy?
my strategies that I have taken. Because I think I don't have that much opportunity nowadays to start workout or maybe have some running in the early morning. But I have the most things I do that I'm taking less amount of food. And
Okay, so
one thing I try to avoid that sleeping in the afternoon. So it's kind of a bad for health. So I started also avoiding this sleep in the daytime, especially in the afternoon.
so have you lost weight? You know,
Sir, I think I'm kind of a like
weight.
maintaining or constant weight, and I also taking every day. I taking green tea, so I
Weight.
think
I
it's
see.
helping me to maintaining my body weight.
Okay, so Faria, what about you? You know, have you lost weight? Have you
Uh,
lost weight or you have gained weight?
Sir, generally I'm a healthy person, but when I used to do exercises like I used to do yoga
Okay.
sometimes.
Huh.
Not in this pandemic, last 15 days, I was prohibited from this by
Okay.
doctor.
Huh.
And that's why I do not do exercise regularly. But
So were you taking more food
no,
during
sir,
the
no,
last?
sir. As I'm healthy person, I'm
Okay.
so much conscious about to eat because if I take some little bit more food, I got more and more fat.
Okay,
That's
you
why
get.
I
Okay, you
take
get.
less
Huh.
food
Okay, fine.
and take regular exercises to keep it.
Okay,
Even in the
so
pandemic situation, doctors generally suggest to keep fit, you must have to do some exercises, not very
okay.
hard
Fine.
exercises, but a little bit exercises needed.
And so, Mahmoudin, so
Yes, sir.
when there's no pandemic and all this, do you often go to cinema? You know, what was the last time you
Sir,
went to
it's
cinema? You know, going to a
sir.
movie. I'm talking about going to a
Okay,
movie.
okay, sir. So I get it, sir. It's really rare to me that I went to
Or
have a
okay, it's rare for me, you
rare
know,
for
going
you
to a
me
movie.
to going to cinema. The last time I went to cinema, it was 2018, and I went with my two friends to watch a movie in Bosundara City,
Okay.
some
So you're
cinema.
not really into habit of, but you watch
Sir,
movies.
so
Do you watch movies at home?
I do love to watch lots of movies, and I kind of a person who kind of addicted to watch movies. But sir, I don't have that friend like me who also addicted,
Okay,
who like
fine,
to watch movies in the cinema hall. So every
fine.
people's have their most of my friends, they like to watch movie in home.
And in the home. So, what about watching movies in your house? In your house, in the during this lockdown, have you watched
Uh,
lots of movies or not really?
Sir, after this pandemic started, sir, I started watching movies who is already released before the pandemic started, or maybe the after the pandemic started. But
Hmm.
then I don't find any good movies to watch
Good movies.
because maybe they are starting some finalized work
Okay.
after they are going to release it. But one thing I maintain that I started watching TV series, like about maybe Amazon Prime or Netflix. So they are offering lots of web series. So I try to watch them nowadays whenever I get free time.
Oh, fine. Okay. So, uh, Ashna, are you there? Hello, Ashna.
Yeah, hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you? You're
I'm
fine.
doing well, thanks.
You're doing good. Okay. So, how is the pandemic in your place? This. How is it spreading or is controlled?
No, it's not controlled.
It's not
It's
controlled.
becoming worse.
It's becoming worse.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so are bicycles popular in your place? Bicycles, so among say girls or ladies?
No, it's not common.
It's not common.
Actually, ladies are not riding bicycles.
Not at all. Okay. Also, in our
Yeah.
country, in most of the cases they don't. But in India, in many other countries, it's quite. But in general, which section of people they ride bicycles in your place?
Most of the cases are teenagers.
Teenagers. Okay.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
And some people in the above 30, just for
30s.
a simple exercise, they are riding bicycles, like
Riding bicycle. Is it
exercise,
safe?
not for others.
Is it safe to ride bicycle in the place where you live? Is it safe?
No, it's not safe actually.
It's not that safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you have lots of parks. The other day I just Googled. So which city do you live in? What was the name of the city?
I live in Erbil.
Erbil. It seems like no. I just checked Erbil and it was nice. It has lots of parks. Huh? Lots of parks.
Yeah, parks and historical places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very very nice. It seems very nice. It's much better than Bangladesh.
Bangladesh also have a lot of nice places. I searched it in Google and it's nice.
But it seemed that probably it's more spread out your place. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so let me ask you, Ocean Faria, can I ask you? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to live in a house near the ocean if you get a chance? Do you love ocean?
Of course, sir. I love oceans too much.
Too much. So
I got used to go to in Cox's Bazar for the 2
very
times.
Often?
Not very often, but I just go for 2 times as
every year. Every year.
Yes, sir.
You used to go 2 times every year?
No. Not used to. But I went 2 times. As my family is restricted, there is no option for go out.
Yes, I know that.
So much time.
Okay. So if someone gives you a house in Chittagong, because Chittagong is close to a sea,
yes,
would you prefer to live in Chittagong?
Of course. Even my last tour was in Borishal and Kuakata, and that was the most lovable tour in my life. And I stayed there for 3 days with my cousins, and we enjoyed a lot.
You enjoyed it. Okay, so you love so sea, ocean, fine. Mahmudul, can I ask you?
Yes, sir.
Are you impressed with people who know how to paint? Does painting, impresses you, or it's just it's not that much?
Sir, I really like to watch painting in the art galleries, like some exhibitions. So I went 2 times in Dhanmondi Greek Gallery, 2 times. So I found lots of most of them were like photographs as well, but I do like paintings. And from my childhood, I have in my school times I had a course called I started to know about how to start painting, or maybe the introduction was when I was in class 6. So my teacher is really good at painting, and I made some friends who really good at painting. And but in recent time I don't have those kind of friend or anymore who do good at painting like
so
this.
if we get a chance, is there any chance you might take up painting in your future life? Any time when you say become senior or anything like that, or if you get the time? Are you into painting? Do you love painting or no? Not really.
Sir, I do paint. I know actually the basic paints, like how to paint a house, how to paint a like tree, like this stuff. But some paints is really have really good messages. So I like to watch them. But if I have a chance in the future, I really try to buy a good paint in my
Okay,
I might try.
good. Ashna, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay. Are you a very patient person? How do you, in respect to patience, how do you describe yourself? You're a very patient person or not really?
Actually, I don't know how to say about myself. It's better to ask other people that how much I'm patient with them. But
fine.
usually nurses should be a patient person. They should be like that.
Yes. So in your line of work, you need to be. So do you enjoy working, as a nurse, because here you help people?
Yeah,
you need
I'm
to
enjoying
be
it.
very,
Yeah, I really
enjoy
love
that.
my job. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. This is my best time while I'm working. It's most enjoyable moments for me.
So if someone give you an opportunity that you can switch your job, something more fabulous. I don't know. Some people, they might think that other jobs are more software engineering and all those scientists or electrical engineering. They're doing big jobs, not big jobs, and big projects. You might consider if they ask you that.
No,
yes,
no,
you love
never.
this.
I didn't want to leave my job because it was my childhood dream.
Okay, something you chose. Okay, let me ask you another question. So, see, you have colleagues. In general, are you more patient than your colleagues? How do you compare yourself with your colleagues?
Some of them are more patient than me, but sometimes I'm better than them in that point.
Okay, so there are a few, those are much more patient, and in some cases you are more patient or mixed.
Yeah.
Or you're better. You have more patience than others?
My colleagues sometimes telling me that are you such kind of crazy that you are never becoming angry. Sometimes they are telling me that.
I see. Okay, that's good, because in your line of work you need to be. Okay, so let me ask you about. Okay, what about public holidays? Let's talk about public holidays. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Mahmoud?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Let me ask her first, and then I'll come.
Okay,
so, do you have enough public holidays in your? How many days do you work in a week? 5 days or six days usually?
Actually, I'm working in the night shift, so usually I'm taking about 15 night shift in a month.
Okay, in a month.
Each shift it's 12 hours. Yeah.
Oh, 12 hours. Okay, but in general, how many weekly holidays do you have? Two days?
We have 1 day.
1 day.
Just Friday.
Okay, just Friday.
Yeah.
I see. In our country, we have Friday, and in some places, in some government jobs, they have. Okay. So you wish, in general, you had 2 days holidays. That would have been better, or no, or 6 days work day is fine.
Actually, in some governmental offices, they have also Sunday holiday.
Sunday. Okay.
But
Sunday.
for most, yeah.
Okay,
Friday and Sunday.
Friday
but not
and Sunday.
all of them.
Okay, Friday and Sunday. That's interesting. Not Friday and Saturday. Friday and Sunday.
No, I mean Saturday. Sorry.
Oh, Saturday.
I mean Saturday. I'm sorry.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. I thought that. So, how do you Fazli Rabbi? How are you?
Sir, alhamdulillah. Sorry, I was really busy for the first.
No. It's better to be busy. Other than that, you become depressed.
Yeah.
You need to work. You need to, because say if you sit at home, if you time doesn't go. That's when you worry about.
There's a good news. I wanna tell you that I am joining in a new hospital.
Okay, congratulations.
Which is thank you, sir. And I have got my final BMDC registration number. And I haven't just received my appointment letter, but it has confirmed that I am joining in a private hospital in Bardem in Darussalam, yeah, in surgery department from the next month. But
surgery. Okay.
Yeah. But first and foremost, I have to do my duty in COVID ward, in isolated
Oh my
COVID
God.
ward and ICU.
Where in that hospital? In that hospital.
In yeah, sir, in that hospital. I was really to serve in COVID ward because you already know that I am a positive case. So there's no chance to get infected another.
Is it sure that once you are,
there's
is there any guarantee?
No,
it's less likely.
It's less likely.
It's less likely, but there's no guarantee. You never
there's
know.
no guarantee. Yeah.
Okay, we wish that you're completely safe, but we are happy.
Thank you,
I don't know whether we should be happy or not, because still, we the general people, we are afraid of fighting those, and you are doing but you are in the front
May
line.
I interfere?
Please, Faria.
I want to ask Mr. Fazl Rabi.
Mr. Fazl Rabi, she was the girl who,
Is there any evidence that if one person is one time infected by corona, he will have not another chance to infect it again? Is there any
As
evidence?
earlier just sir said that it's not guaranteed that you will not infected by the corona again if you just got infected by corona once. It depends on your antibody titer actually. Most of the patient who underwent mild and moderate signs and symptoms may be affected by another second wave or third wave. Yeah, if their antibody is not adequate, and
it's about the adequacy. Adequacy of the
adequacy.
antibody.
So the adequate antibody will produce in your body if you underwent, in critical stage when your oxygen saturation is less than 93, which is really critical, and you have the sign symptoms. Like you also have evidence by some investigation like ground glass appearance in your chest or your lungs. So otherwise, if it's mild or moderate, your antibody titer is not that strong to protect the virus again from the vulnerability of your body. So I think
If
you
there,
have your answer.
if the pulse rate is under 60, then what will happen? The pulse rate.
Pulse rate is under 60. No, it's not. Pulse rate is under 60. Maybe in different situation, like if you are sleeping, it's normally usually less than 60 or 65. So I was talking about SpO2, which is partial pressure of oxygen in your blood. If it goes back, to 93, less than 93, then we assume that you were in a critical stage with some respiratory sign symptoms, respiratory distress.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Otherwise,
yeah. Okay, so Mahi, are you there? Mahi?
Yes, sir.
How are you? You're fine?
Alhamdulillah.
Physically, you're fine, huh?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, fine. So, how often do you may go boating? Boating, this question. How often you may go? So, do you often go boating? You live in what?
Not often, but
because you have big river, Podda River.
But yeah, there is a Podda River also, and where I do live, actually, there is Dhanmondi 32. So we have some occasionally spending time on boating and some more.
Okay, so you love boating. We have been to boating. You are into boating. Yeah. Is there any chance you might even own a boat? Would you like to own a boat someday?
Right now, I don't think so. But if near future is demands, definitely I will.
So actually, people who go to foreign country, but I think owning a boat is a privilege, especially if they have there's facilities. People like to go boating in Western country more than what you have. Okay, so
and it's actually depends on the boating system or what the made of. Made of. Yes. Because if we buy in our country, that's made by wood. So sometimes it's not long time.
No long last. I see.
Yeah. So this might be
fine. Yes. Fine. Okay. Firstly, Rabbi, can I ask you a question, sir? Hello, Firstly, Rabbi, are you there?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Okay. So, say, when you were a child, did you think a lot about your future or not?
I don't think so. I haven't think about a lot, but I thought about, yeah, I have get anxious about something. Yeah, I have to get some rest after SSC, or what the elders say that, yeah, once you were in enter in a good university, that's it. You don't have to worry about it after that.
Oh.
But it is still going on. Yeah.
Saira, are you there? Saira?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I ask you just one question? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Should everyone learn swimming? Why or why not? What do you think?
Well, actually, swimming is a very important skill to have, because you never know when you need it. And as a riverine country, we Bangladeshis especially need to learn swimming, because we have so many rivers, lakes, and we even have the sea.
Okay, so what about you? Do you know how to swim?
It's really sad that I don't know how to swim. I've tried, but I didn't.
You have tried. You have tried. So
I've tried, but I haven't been able to learn it.
So you went to a professional place where they teach swimming?
No, actually no. I've tried in my grandparents' house and everything, but not professionally.
Professionally, okay. So fine. So you avoid those places, huh? So
I don't necessarily avoid those places. I love.
No. I'm just saying that. Okay, but you take the chance.
Yes, but I go swimming.
But is there any chance you'll be learning it? Say.
I do want to learn it.
I think if you move to a foreign country, the likelihood is more.
Yeah, there are some countries where it's compulsory to learn swimming, like by the age of 5, I guess.
Really?
Yes,
I
in
didn't
Singapore.
know that.
Yes.
Really, I didn't know that.
It's compulsory for kids to learn swimming by the age of 5.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. I
Me
never
neither.
knew that. Yes. Is Singapore the only exception, or there are other countries as well?
I guess so, but it's a good rule, I guess.
Yes.
It's necessary.
Okay. So, Mr. Shibli, are you there? Mr. Shibli? Hello, Mr. Shibli?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, just let me ask you 1 or 2 questions, then we'll move on to it. Say, let's talk about trees. Are we very protective as a nation? Are we very protective of trees, Bangladeshis, Bengalis?
Actually, this is a critical question, because many of them
I think for Bangladeshis, every question is a critical question. You never know what they will do. And
actually.
Yeah, so
right.
Think about Corona. They're selling what? They are selling what? Counterfeit certificates. Corona certificates. Just so anything is possible in a country like ours. Okay, so what about that? Are we very protective of trees? Do we care about trees, Bangladeshis in general? What do you think?
Actually, we should. We should care about. Trees.
Should is that's different. The question is, are we? Are we? Listen, in eyes, if they ask about shoes, that's a different question, and this is a different question. So, do you think we are?
Yes, we are pretty much protective about our trees, which are actually asset. Trees asset for our nature. And
so we do that.
Yes, we do. We do protect. Want to protect our trees. Actually, we may see many of us are not thinking about this protection, how to. But many other people and many environment friendly mentality who has the environment friendly mentalities are very much thoughtful how to protect the trees. There are many reasons and advantages of this, because trees are trees are very important a part of our nature and
okay,
environment.
fine. Even I think it's what I think part 1. 4 to 5 sentences enough. Not less than 3 sentences, not more than 4 to 5.
Okay.
Huh? That will be okay. Okay, let me ask you, Nasiruddin, are you there? Palash? Huh? Palash? Are you there? Palash, can you hear? Okay, so Mr. Abdullah, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you like to answer a question?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, so do you like spending time with old people? And do you find it interesting, spending time with old people?
Yes, it's an interesting question. As I like to spend my leisure time with the world people to know about the past and about their memories, because they are asset to our family as well as for the society and the country, because we come to know across the history. As for example, if I meet with a freedom fighter who fought for the country in 1971, I could understand about the independence of our country. And if I have a scope to meet with a veteran who have seen the war.
Okay, listen, it's first part. It's a first part question. So 4 to 5 sentences is kind of okay. So if you sometimes if you elongate it, it will diffuse the idea. 4 to 5 sentences will be kind of okay for any kind of questions. So you'll have to focus on that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Let me ask you just 1 or 2 questions. So, whom can I ask? Let me ask Faria or Faria. So,
yes, sir.
Have you ever? Okay, so what do you usually do in the evening? How do you spend your evening?
Sir, in nowadays I'm spending evening with your classes.
Okay.
But usually I used to do my with my evening foods and with some TV shows, and after then I used to do my works like my study,
okay,
etc.
Okay, fine. Okay. Mr. Rabbi, are you there?
Sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
let me ask another question.
Sure, sir.
Is there anything you would like to change in the place you are living? You're not happy, it's not crowded or it's cramped, or you should have had attached bath or anything like that, veranda, anything?
Yeah, sir, of course. The flat I'm living, it's a very small flat, so the one thing I would like to change is to make it broaden. And yeah, I also wanna place some geyser and bathtub in my washroom, and also I also wanna be have a spacious balcony.
Wanna be এসব বলা যাবে না, I say. বেশি informal. I would like to এই ধরনের কারণ আপনি যার সঙ্গে কথা বলবেন নরমালি ইউনিভার্সিটির প্রফেসর। তো না এমনি ওইটা মানে I say ওইটা ইনফর্মাল। Too informal. ঠিক আছে, বাকিটা ঠিক আছে, আইডিয়া ঠিক আছে। তারপর
and also we have a very less amount of trees around us, so as I like green, so I also like to make some plants and make it green surround my house.
Amount of you're talking about trees, is a few number, number.
Fewer number. So I want to grow it in a large number.
Okay, we'll be moving on to reading section. Anybody would like to speak out? Just 1 or 2 questions. Shorna, are you there? You have just joined?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just let me ask you just.
Shorna, you are late. Why you are late? You just almost, Just missed the speaking session, but sir is making this speaking session prolonged for you. So you should apologize. Say sorry to sir.
Okay, Shonak, let me ask you, say, who is the closest to you in your family? Whom do you like best?
My mother.
Your mother. Listen,
yes, sir.
This is good answer, but you'll have to explain why. Always give an explanation. Always. That's the IELTS rule. Give an answer, then expand.
Sir, my mother is really close to me because she understands me very well. She always trusts me and helps me. And if I take any decision, that time my mother support me. And if I fall in any danger, he always.
You have a decision, no? Decision.
Yeah.
Decision. Whenever I take a decision, then okay. So she's very helpful, and she is very protective of you, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are lucky to have her. Do you think you are lucky?
Of course. Yes, I'm really lucky to have a nice mother.
Good.
Keep her.
And Nasiruddin Polash, are you there? Nasiruddin, can listen? Okay. What I'd like to do, just let's move on to the reading now, huh? Let's do some reading. Reading is very important. We have been doing speaking for almost an hour. We started at around 7, around 7. Okay, so let's do some reading. Huh? We'll be doing a reading today. Let's see what we have for reading today. Just a moment. Sorry. So we are going to cover this one. This from Cambridge book. So we have few paragraphs, and these are what we have. How many paragraphs? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one is which one? Okay, this is the last one. The last one should be the most challenging one. Usually, the last one is the most difficult or
it's so
most
tough.
Challenging. Usually, but if you know the rules, not rules and practice, if you can apply those, I think it shouldn't be that difficult. Hopefully, what is this? This is one type of question. This is what. This is the first one is. Which paragraph contains the following information? See here, what you need to do. There some information you'll have to match. See this one with paragraph A or B or C, this one with another one, this one with another one, this one with another one, this one with another one. So where you will find the answer to these questions? How AI, artificial intelligence, might have a military impact. So you'll be looking for a passage where they will be talking about what? The military. Very likely is going to be a part of that one. But here, see, you'll have to check out this one as well. You may use any letter more than one. So what might happen? So, this one or any two of those might be a part of one paragraph. But is there any guarantee that this will happen? No. It might or it may not. So that makes it more difficult. And another problem is there are more questions, more paragraphs than the number of information. So you might find that you're not covering all the paragraphs. Number 2 is what? True, false, not given. Is it tricky? True, false, not given? Okay, we'll try to solve this. There are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. This one. True, false, not given. What's the difference between true, false, not given and another one is what?
Yes, no, not given.
Yes, no, not given. What's the difference?
Yes, no, not given.
Yes, no, not given. It deters the writer's view, whether it is go along with it or against. And
no, that's yes, no, not given.
Oh, sorry. That's true, false, not given. And
that true, false, not given.
Yeah. As for yes, no, not given, it's it's whether it is according to the context or not.
Context. Okay. So usually here, it's written in the writers. Okay. Anyway, is there a very big difference? You know, while you'll be solving it, does it make a very big difference whether it's yes, no, not given, or true, false? Not really.
It's not that big deal.
But yes, sometimes it depends on the type of question. Okay. So here 6, we'll be solving this one, and there. What is this? These are multiple choice question. See, if we have these 3 times, so it's my way of doing it. I will always ask to do what? I will always ask you to start from the back. The question, reading the question. I'm not asking you to solve the question, but reading the question from the back. It helps. So what I'm going to do, this is my way of doing. I will just start from there, reading from the first one. The first one. The reason being that, you know, so it gives you a better idea about, if I understand that where, usually these are in order. 39 will follow, 38, 30, 40 will follow, 39. So if I can find where this one starts, it gives me an edge over others. So according to the researchers in late 1980, there was a feeling that, what's the keyword?
Researchers, 1980s.
Researchers, and no, I don't have to, because this is very clear, 1980s. As long as I find that, very likely that there will be 2 or 3 mentions. I don't have to worry about that. Researchers and 1980, feeling that now I don't want to read that, because even if I read it, I will forget it. It might take only what, 5 to 6 seconds, not more than that. Then I will come back here. Here, what will I do? I will go for 32 and 33, because the first one is what? If you have this kind of question, this one contains which paragraphs, and another type of question is the heading. If you have these, I will always, you know, do it first. That's the way I will do it, because by the time I'm solving this one, what's happening? Just a moment. By the time I'm doing this one, I will get some idea about yes, no, not given, at the same time, the last type of question. So it gives you a, you know, kind of edge, headway. Yeah, so you can see. So start doing like that. I'm telling you, we'll never, in most of the cases, you will not never revert back to the way you used to do. Very likely. Okay, so here, what I'm going to do, I'll be covering the first 2. Why first 2? Anybody who can tell me why I'm covering, you know, 32 and 33? Not only 32. Why? Any particular reason? We have.
There are some researchers and the
What are
1985.
No. What is the reason? What could be the reason?
Reason is that if I get the answer of 33, then I can understand that 32 will be before.
No. Because is there any guarantee that 32 might be not given? Is there any guarantee it's not going to be not given? No. What if it's not given? Means it's not written. Anything is there. Then what? Then what happens if it is not given? The first one. How do you find it? What you do, you keep on reading and keep on reading and keep on reading. You come up to here and you don't find it. Then what?
Not given.
Even you are not sure. You keep on reading. You read up to this much, say. Then you decided. But think about this. If you read the second one, if you read which one?
Second one.
Even in the second one, say in 1985, AI was the lowest point. Then what happened? If you found this one, if you found it, even if the first one is completely not given, if you find, say, think about 1985 here, then what you know? That there is no first one. The first one is not there. See, by the time you're here, think about the 1985 is here. You know this is a not given. Other than that, নাহলে কি হতো আপনি এতদূর পড়ে তারপর আন্দাজ করতেন, এতদূর পড়ে আন্দাজ করতেন যে এটা নট গিভেন। আমার কথা বুঝছেন? সবাই বুঝছেন? সো দুইটা করে আমরা যদি করি তাহলে আমাদের যে অ্যাডভান্টেজটা হবে, আমরা শুধু ইয়েস নো নট গিভেন, অন্যগুলোতে না, কিন্তু আমরা দুইটা করলে যেই আমাদের অ্যাডভান্টেজ হবে, প্রথমটা যদি একেবারে নট গিভেন হয় তাহলে if we check this one, if we can find this one, we clearly know that this is not given. Other than we have to read more. we want to save time as much as possible. Saving time is a big thing in reading, no doubt about that. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'll be covering. So here, the researchers who launched the field of AI had worked together. Work together is very important. Together on other projects in the past. So they're saying that, just remember that researchers launched the field of AI, they work together in other tasks. Okay, so this one. What about the second one? This is easy. 1985 was in the lowest point. 85 AI, artificial intelligence was at its lowest point, 1985. So I'm just trying to remember this word, these ideas. 1985, and this one is work together, AI field, when they were launched. No, I'm not going to work on this because I'll have to start from this one, the first one. So how do you do that? Actually, let's do with the first one. This one, A type eta hocche ki which paragraph contains a heading. I'll always do this one because it helps to find the answers for the second type, or if there is a third type. Now let's move on to this one. Now we are going to solve this one. So how do you cover it? How do you match it? Who can tell me? Anybody?
We may read 3 or 4 lines. First
Okay.
3-4 lines.
Should we start from reading this, or should we start from reading this?
We should start from reading the paragraphs, and then we should
just
I think even if you read it, listen, if you first one, there's no
we should start by reading headings.
Heading, this one.
No, 27 to.
Okay, fine. This heading. No. Even if you read it, can you remember all those? Even if you read it, there's no guarantee that this one belongs to this one. This might belong to the last paragraph. Yes, so there's no point in reading that. You won't remember. So the best thing, I think, would be reading this one properly. It depends how much you are going to read. Then check this one. It's easy because by the time you read it, you have these ideas and you're just checking with any of those. I mean, to read this one. Acha. You don't have to read this one. Let's read this one. But how many sentences should we read? How many sentences? Is there any guarantee that it will be within the first 3 sentences or 4 sentences, or we are going to read the whole thing? Who can tell me?
So I personally go through the entire paragraph and search for it.
Okay, that's safest. But আচ্ছা আমি একটা জিনিস আপনাকে দেখাই, হ্যাঁ আপনাকে একটা জিনিস দেখাই, দেখেন ভালো করে খেয়াল করেন। এইটা একটু দেখেন। এইটা হচ্ছে ধরেন অ্যানসার গুলো যেখানে আছে। হ্যাঁ আমি এমনি আপনাকে এটা করছি, জাস্ট চেক ইট আউট। তাহলে দেখা যাচ্ছে কি বেশিরভাগ প্যাসেজের কোথায় আছে অ্যানসার গুলো? These are the probable places all the answers are there. Usually what we are seeing in most of the cases, what? The answers are within the, but there's no guarantee, I'm saying. So it's a risk. I don't know whether you might take the risk or you may not, but it doesn't happen all the time, but in most of the cases, if you can read the first 3 or 4 lines, it helps. Okay, this is also kind of a tested one. Okay, now let's move on to here. We are going to solve this one. Let's read it and we'll try to find that. Let's read it. But the first sentence is always important. The first, যখন আমরা reading, while we'll be looking for the main idea for reading, that's এটা differently পড়বো, এইগুলো differently পড়বো. Here every sentence is important. But while we are looking for the heading, ওখানে হচ্ছে idea important. How many ideas are there? Here, it's not about ideas. We will focus on the ideas, কিন্তু basically we'll have to read, we'll try to read the whole thing, but we'll have to remember. Let's read it together. After years in the wilderness, the term artificial intelligence seemed poised to make a comeback. Wilderness মানে কি? অন্ধকার। মানে wilderness মানে বনের মধ্যে ওই ধরনের wilderness মানে যেখানে কোনো কিছু হ্যাঁ so after a year the term artificial seemed to poised to come back. AI was big in 1980s but vanished in 1980s. আচ্ছা do you remember second না third type এর আমরা এইটা পেয়েছিলাম 1980s একটা আইডিয়া পেয়েছিলাম না? There is a question. So one we can do
1985 that's
85 or 80?
85.
That was 85.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. So it re-entered. So first line is খুব important. আপনি এটা ভালো করে পড়বেন. After years in the wilderness, the term seemed to poise to make a comeback. আচ্ছা, it was big in 1980 but vanished in 1990. তাহলে 80, it was 80 big, vanished. So by 1990, it vanished. আচ্ছা. It re-entered the public consciousness with the release of AI, a movie about robot boy. ঠিক আছে, big তাহলে কি vanished with the AI movie. This has ignited public debate about AI, but the term is also being used once more with the computer industry. তখন কিন্তু দেখেন 80-তে it was important, but by 90 it vanished. Again re-entered, মানে কখন 1990s এ. Why? Because with a movie. This has ignited public debate about AI, artificial, but the term is also being used once more within the computer. তাহলে first যেভাবে ইউজ হয়েছিল পরের বার কিন্তু 1990s এ কি হচ্ছে কম্পিউটার ইন্ডাস্ট্রির সঙ্গে রিলেটেড হয়ে গেছে। সম্ভবত 1980s এ কম্পিউটার ওইভাবে ছিল না, আর থাকলেও এআই কে ওইভাবে রিলেট করা হতো না। Researchers, executives and marketing people are now using the expression without irony or inverted comma. What is irony, inverted comma? What is that? Irony মানে not directly. Irony মানে অন্য একটা কথা বলছে কিন্তু আসলে ঘুরিয়ে বলতে যাচ্ছে artificial. হ্যাঁ? Sarcasm, ঠিক sarcasm না, মানে indirectly, not directly. আচ্ছা, এবং inverted comma. আর without inverted comma মানে কি? কখন inverted comma? মনে করেন কার, I bought a car. কারের চারিদিকে inverted comma দেন? Do you give I bought a car. Do you put a inverted comma in both sides of the car? No. Because when it has a different connotation, highlight, and it has a different connotation, then it has a different meaning, not regular car, not what we mean by car, and it's not always a hype. Are now using, মানে এখন মানে বলতে যাচ্ছি 80s এ artificial intelligence was something different, but now artificial intelligence is a household. Everybody knows about artificial intelligence. You know, there was a rocket scientist, no, it was a part of rocket science once, but now it has become a household matter. The term is being applied with some justification to products that depended on technology that was originally developed by AI researchers. People said there, the term is being applied with some justification to products that depended on technology that was originally developed. Okay. Admittedly, the rehabilitation of the term has a long way to go. Some firms still prefer to avoiding it, but the fact that others are starting to use it again suggests that AI has moved on from being seen as an overambitious and underachieving field, field of research. Achha, do you understand what we have read? You will have to remember that. What's the basic idea? Means once it was a hype, but later on by 1990s it kind of died out, then again it resurfaced, but now it has become kind of very common. এটাই কিন্তু বলছে। ঠিক আছে?
My main subject was artificial intelligence as I'm a computer engineer.
Artificial intelligence. No, I think it's more about robotics. There was a time, you know, artificial intelligence, we thought it was robot. Okay. But now artificial intelligence is probably on the computer is common. মানে কম্পিউটারে probably we never heard, বুঝছেন, মানে এটা অনেক কমন হয়ে গেছে আগে, ওইগুলো কম্পিউটারে ইউজ হচ্ছে।
একটা উদাহরণ দেই ছোট, লাইক আপনি যখন গুগল ইউজ করছেন তখন আপনি সাপোজ আপনি এমন একটা কিছু সার্চ করতে চাচ্ছেন ব্লু কালার, আপনাকে গুগল একরকম দেখাবে, যখন সার্চ করব তখন আমাকে একরকম দেখাবে, দ্যাট ইজ এটা গুগলের আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্স। কজ সে আপনার আগের জিনিসগুলো রিসার্চ করে দেখবে, আপনার কুকিজ গুলো যে আপনি কি টাইপ জিনিস চাচ্ছেন, তারপর আপনাকে সেগুলো শো করবে। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্স অফ গুগল।
I see. Okay, thank you. তাহলে আমরা ওখানে যা পড়েছি, which one matches this one? এই ইনফরমেশনটা, this information could be a part of that particular A, B, C, D, what আমাদের এটা মনে রাখতে হবে, what we have read here. Now let's read it. How AI might have military. Are we talking about military? Have we read about military? No. The fact that AI brings together a range of separate research areas. Did they mention anything about that? Did they mention? এটা কি এই ব্যাপারে কোনো কিছু বলেছে? No, probably
29.
হ্যাঁ, এই ব্যাপারে। তারপর দেখি the reasons why AI has become a common topic or conversation again. Is there any chance?
Maybe.
Did they mention anything? The reasonটা কিসের জন্য? Because why it has become a common again? এইটা নিয়ে বলেছে। এটা কি? What they mentioned about what? A movie 1990-te, there was a movie that started, ওইটা আবার নিয়ে আসছে এবং গ্র্যাজুয়ালি এটা কম্পিউটার সায়েন্সে ইউজ হচ্ছে আরো অনেক জায়গায়। তখন এখন it has become a household name, a word. So no, not household. I'm saying that first AI যেটা দিয়ে বোঝাতো সেইটা আর নাই, এখন একটু কমন হয়ে গেছে। বুঝছেন? হ্যাঁ, এটা হতে পারে না? Do you think this is a correct answer?
আপনি যদি মাঝে মাঝে খেয়াল করতে পারেন, আপনি যদি কখনো কোনো বিষয় নিয়ে কথা বলেন, আপনার ফোন পাশে রেখে দেখা যাবে রিসেন্টলি আপনার সামনে সেই টাইপের অ্যাড, সেই টাইপের জিনিসগুলো শো করছে। দ্যাট ইজ অ্যানাদার মানে ওয়ে অফ আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্স।
Thank you. Therefore, okay, let's now move on to the next paragraph. Let's read the next paragraph. তাহলে ফার্স্ট চ্যাপ্টার আমরা এটা পেয়ে গেছি, আপনাকে এটা কিন্তু মনে রাখতে হবে। Now let's read it. The field was launched and the term artificial intelligence coin মানে কি? word use hover, that's coin. The field was launched at a conference in 1956. তাহলে 56 this field was group of researchers that included Mervyn Minsky, John McCarthy, Herbert Simon, and Alan Newell, all of whom went on to become leading figures in the field in 1956. The expression provided an attractive but informative name for research program that encompassed such previously disparate money, separate fields as operation research, cybernetics, logic, and computer science. তাহলে এই সব মনে রাখতে হবে কিন্তু, মানে এই এক্সপ্রেশন প্রোভাইড মানে অনেকগুলো আলাদা আলাদা কি ফিল্ডকে ওরা কি করলো, they combined it. এই যে this one, the goal they shared was an attempt to capture or mimic human abilities using machine. এইটাই, that's the human abilities using machine. That's it. Different groups of researchers attack different problems from speech recognition to playing. So group of researchers attack different problems from speech. AI unified field in name only, but it was a term that captured the public imagination. AI টা শুধু হচ্ছে আসলে বেশ কয়েকটা desperate অনেকগুলো আলাদা আলাদা ফিল্ডকে কি করলো একটা জায়গায় they brought it together. কিন্তু AI টা বেশ, it was a very interesting and people loved it. AI intelligence, artificial intelligence, the public imagination. AI করার আচ্ছা গুড। আচ্ছা আপনার তো কম্পিউটার সায়েন্সে বোধহয় না? আপনার হ্যাঁ গুড। আচ্ছা তাহলে এই জিনিসটা এখন এখানে আমরা কি নিয়ে পড়লাম, আসলে কিভাবে শুরু হয়েছিল, how they worked and what was how they formed it. আচ্ছা can we check it? তারপর কোনটা হবে? Are we talking about military? No. The fact that AI brings together a range of separate research areas. এটা
Right.
Okay, they mentioned about that. See, that AI brought together a range with the disparate what they use for separate research areas and put it together.
Number 31 টা হবে না?
Where they was first used, it could be where the expression AI was first used.
Point.
এটা কোনটা হবে? এটা কি আমাদের we are looking for আচ্ছা 30 কি এটা হবে? Should it be that one? Where the first expression, the expression was first used. Eta, can it be? Where? The film was launched. The term coined at a conference by a group of research that included where the expression AI was first used. 31 হবে এটা?
Maybe.
Could be. So it's what? (27) 27 and 28. Which one? It's confusing, no? Which one will go for? Where the expression?
তো এখানে তো লেখা you may use any letter more than once.
More than once. আচ্ছা এটা কোনটা হবে? এটা আমার তো মনে হয় এটাই হবে তাই না?
হ্যাঁ স্যার এটা তো ডাইরেক্টলি বলেই দিছে।
এটা ডাইরেক্টলি বলে দিচ্ছে। এটা কি হবে তাহলে? We should go for, we should write for this one. This one কি হবে তাহলে? This one goes for which one? B, না?
B.
This one goes for B. আচ্ছা এটা তো এই যে বলেছে where the expression was first used. And the fact that AI brings together a range of separate research areas. The fact that AI brings together a range of আচ্ছা এটা আমরা পরে আবার দেখবো, আমাদের কনফিউশন আছে। আচ্ছা তারপর what about 3? See, can we read it out? See? এটা পড়ি। Most researchers agree that AI peaked around 1985. আচ্ছা আমাদের আরেকটা কোশ্চেন ছিল না আমাদের ওখানে, so we can even mark it.
Related. 1985.
Most researchers agree that AI peaked around a public read on science fiction movies and excited by the growing power of computers had high expectation. For years, AI researchers had implied that a breakthrough was just around the corner. Marvin Minsky said in 1967 that within a generation, the problem of creating artificial intelligence would be substantially solved. Prototypes of medical diagnosis programs and speech recognition software appeared to be making progress. It proved to be a false dawn. False dawn যত expect করেছিল, it didn't work like that. Thinking computers and household robots failed to materialize, and a backlash ensued. Why it failed, and then by the 10 years. There was undue optimism in the early 1980s, says David Lickey, researchers at the Indiana University. Then, when people realized these were hard problems and there were retrenchment cut down. The money you spend, it was in a cut down. So that investment was not there. It's a retrenchment word to call it. It's a Jerry word. By the late 1980s, the term AI was being avoided by many researchers who opted instead to align themselves with specific sub-disciplines such as neural network, agent technology, case-based reasoning, and so on. And kind of first it was a mixture of, it was a combination of, but later on it didn't realize. What is the It started, but gradually it didn't. What they promised, it didn't work out. আচ্ছা তাহলে কোনটা হবে? Which one? So we are looking for which one? C. আমরা সিটা এখানে কোটা পেলাম। C. These are the left. The fact that together range of no, I don't think so. So how AI might have a military impact? No. Then how could help deal with difficult? No, I don't think it's not there. It's not there. So now let's move on to the next page, and then we'll check it. Okay, now we'll read this one. Now D. Ironically, in some ways, AI was a victim of its own success. Whenever an apparently mundane problem, mundane means regular, not difficult, such as building system that could land an aircraft unattended. The problem was deemed to have been AI in the first place, as a place of it, deemed not to have been AI. As if it works, it can be AI. As Dr. lELTS characterized it, the effect of repeatedly moving the goalposts in this way was that AI came to refer to blue sky research that was still years away from commercialization. Researchers joke that AI stood for almost implemented. As AI, almost implemented. Meanwhile, the technologies that made it into the market, such as speech recognition, language translation, and decision support software, were no longer regarded as AI. Yet all three once fell within the umbrella of research. What does it mean? Who can tell me? এখানে কি বলতে যাচ্ছে? Anybody? Faria, here?
The drawback of AI?
drawback হচ্ছে এখানে, in fact, it was AI. But AI, but এই যে এখানে বলছে যে প্রত্যেকটা, yet all three once fell within the umbrella. পরে দেখা যাচ্ছে যে এর মধ্যে যা হচ্ছে, এআইটা was কি ওভারঅল কি বলছি, এআই করছে, বাট এআই এর দামটা পাচ্ছে না। In fact, it was AI. It was an umbrella. It was like an umbrella. It has many separate. এটা দেখা যাচ্ছে individually এক একটা পার্ট এক একটা সলভ করছে, but not AI. AI is a big field. আমার কথা বুঝছেন? কিন্তু indirectly it was part AI, but ঠিক AI দিয়ে ওটা হচ্ছিল না। তাহলে কি হবে? এটা এরা একটু ভালো বুঝবেন যারা কম্পিউটার সায়েন্স এগুলো পড়াশোনা করেছে। আচ্ছা, আমরা কিছুটা বুঝেছি, পুরোপুরি আপনাকে বুঝতে হবে এটা না। ইজ দেয়ার এনি অ্যানসার? আমাদের কোনটা হয়ে গেছে? আমাদের এটার অ্যানসার এখনো পাইনি। আমাদের এটার অ্যানসার হয়ে গেছে না? We found this one.
31 and 28.
আর কোনটা হয়েছিল? এটা বোঝায় না?
সি তো আমরা পাইনি, এ বি হয়েছে।
আচ্ছা, এখন এইটা কোনটা হবে? So we are looking for D.
Sir, number 28.
Number
28.
Yeah, it seems like that.
আমরা D. We are looking for.
Okay.
It was আমরা এখন কোনটা দেখছি? আমরা D-টা। Have you found it?
No.
D-টা কি আছে নাকি D কোনটাই হবে না?
Sir, I was absent, sorry. Sir,
areas গুলোর জন্য maybe 28
প্যারাগ্রাফ থেকে আরেকবার একটু শো করা যাবে?
Oh, it's a paragraph here. You know, can we check it? আমরা 31 have we found 31 তো পেয়েছি বোধহয় না 31 we have found 31 we have found 29
28 they're also talking about research areas.
That's research areas. D. আচ্ছা তাহলে এখানে আমরা কি have you found এটা পেয়েছি এখানে military তো হবে না no the fact that brings separate research areas 28 it could be 28 or no এখানে did we find anything আচ্ছা why don't you read E and F then we can come back আমাদের তার অনেকগুলো আছে let's read the next one let's read E আমরা E টা একটু পড়ে নিই sorry E E let's read আপনাকে এভাবে একটা একটা করে মানে সব সময় পাবেন not necessarily but the type now returning according to okay backed by a government agency reckon that the new approach of whatever is the most powerful and promising approach ever discovered. Agency claimed that their system, based on a cluster of 30%, could be used to spot camouflage vehicles on a battlefield or extract a voice signal from a noisy background. Task humans can do well, but computers cannot. As to whether or not their technology lives up to the claim made for it, the fact that HNC are emphasizing to use AI itself is an interesting development, says. আচ্ছা এখানে এটা আমরা কি পড়লাম কি have you read it and can we match it anything
battlefield
acha yes here military here they're mentioning what you say okay so then eta ki hoche the answer is 27 goes to what
E.
29 goes to what number 29 A was that 29 was A and 31 was that B B that's it B 31 B you see the first line B first line and what about 28 the fact that brings together a range of separate I think this might be here this is also B this is also a B this is also B a B this is also B here
it could be teacher
this is B so you might
can you find sir can we find the answer of the question in one paragraph is it possible
yeah here you can find two of them in same paragraph no problem here only this kind of question is written here you see here you may use any letter twice more than once so okay. Here 29 is also part of B 29 is all part of so these are two this is A and let's move on to here and this one this is B and we are left out with only this one how AI so this is done AI could help deal with difficult related to the amount of information available electronically.
So আমার মনে হয় আগের প্যারাগ্রাফটা 30 হওয়ার কথা, because
আগের
difficulties গুলো কথা বলা হয়েছে ইলেকট্রনিক্যালি, যে difficulty গুলো পাওয়া যায় AI সেটা সলভ করে।
আচ্ছা আরেকটু পড়ি আমরা, জাস্ট মুভ অন টু দি এফ এ আমরা কিছু পড়তে পারি, বিকজ এফ এ বোধহয় they talked about electronics sometime. আচ্ছা, let's read. Another factor that may boost the prospect of AI in the near future is that the investors are now looking for firms using clever technology rather than just a clever business model to differentiate themselves. In particular, the problem of information overload exacerbated to make worse by the growth of email and the explosion in the number of web pages means that there are plenty of opportunities for new technologies to help filter and categorize information. Classic artificial problems. That may mean that more artificial intelligence companies will start to emerge to meet this challenge. Is there any chance that what? This one? Did we here? This is only the one left out. How AI could help deal with difficult related to the amount of information available electronically.
Yeah, sir, এটাই হবে মনে হয়।
Very likely this is the chance. There are lots of information, especially electronic web. Web is electronically. So lots of, other than that, you can handle it. And you'll have to deal with just like we can handle it, human, but we can deal this much. But we are using the way humans are calibrated this information. ঠিক আছে, তাহলে এটা কোনটা হবে? So this one goes for, this one goes for, it goes for what? Goes for well, F. This one goes for. So very likely we don't have to look, but for this one, for this one. Okay. So this is the basic rule. This is the basic rule. In any case, you'll have to do it like that. And so some of them will be more difficult, some of them more easy. And did we have to read the whole thing? Is better to read the whole thing or no? It's safer. You know, if you're a fast reader, it's always better to read the whole thing because you kind of remember the whole thing. If you don't remember, sometimes you might mix it up with others. Okay. So we are done with what? And now let's move on to what? True, false, not given. True, false, not given. So how do you do that? So the research of long field AI work together on other projects. And so we are looking for that. The researchers should launch whether they work together in other projects in the past. That's the information, whether this is true, false, or not given. So
I think it's true.
Where we'll go for, you know, we'll have to read it.
B.
We will have to read. We'll have to read in which they launch. Here, can we find the information whether they worked in project together before launching this one? Is there any information about that?
No.
Should it be yes, no, or not given? What was our question? Our question was, the researchers who launched the field of AI had worked together on other projects in the past. Before coming together in this one, in previous, they worked together. Is it mentioned here? What should we? So yes, no, or not given?
No.
Sir, I think it's not given.
Okay, it's not. Is there any information? No. Should it be yes or no?
No.
Yes, no, or not given?
Not given.
Acha.
I think.
Oh no, sorry. Yes, false or not true. Sorry.
True, false.
No, true, false.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So we are checking whether it will be true, false, or not given. Okay, is it true? Is
No.
it true? No.
No, sir.
Is it false? Should it be false? Anybody? You will go for false?
No, sir.
No.
Why not?
Because there's no.
If it is false,
there's no contradictory. Yeah.
This is false. It must be written that they didn't work
False, sir.
together. It must be written. If it's not written, you can say it's false. You get my point? It must be written that these people never worked together in any other project. If it is mentioned, then only you could have said that this is false. But if it's not written, it's not. It should be not given. Is there any guarantee that they didn't work or they worked? Is there any guarantee?
No, sir.
It could be true or it could be false. It could be. You never know. They might have worked or they may not have worked. Either way, তাহলে কি হবে? Is not given. You can say for sure that they didn't work. At the same time, you can say for sure that they worked. So whatever way you think is not given because we can say for sure. বুঝছেন? আমার কথা বুঝছেন? Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
So I'm writing this is not given. Now move on to 19. We are looking for 1985. Let's move on to 1985. So 85, is there any word 1985? Right here. Okay, this is the word.
Yes, sir.
So here, 85. So they're claiming that what? In 1985, AI was at its lowest point. What they say? Agree that AI peaked. So peaked and lowest point is opposite?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
It's false.
So it's clearly false because they're saying AI was at its lowest
point.
At its lowest point. So we'll have to read that. They're saying if we read this one against this one, we can say that if this is true, this must be false. Listen, if we didn't have this one written, if you couldn't identify this one, if you couldn't identify this one, you couldn't have written no. So means false. You need this information. So what about 34? Research into agent technology was more costly than research into the neural networks. Where
it is true.
Where is neural? We'll find neural. Where is that? Is there any agent? Where is that? Okay, probably it's not here. Is it here? Probably they didn't mention anything like that, huh? They didn't mention anything. Let's move on to the next page. Let's move on to next page. Let's move on to here. So what we are looking for, research into agent technology was more costly than research into neural networks. A comparison. They mention it where? Where is that? Neural? Neural, is it there?
So probably it's in
previous,
C.
It's
C.
It's C, sorry.
Para C.
Para C. Where is that? Neural?
Last line.
Yeah.
Last or second line.
Okay. So neural technology and agent technology. Is there any guarantee that this one is more expensive than this one? When in a research, more costly? How can we say? Can we say for sure? Should it be no or yes or not given?
Not given.
Not given.
Not given, because there's no guarantee. This could be more expensive than this one. This could be more expensive. There's no guarantee, and nothing has been mentioned about that.
Not given, sir.
This is also
not given.
Not given. Which one?
34.
34.
Not, sorry. This is not given. What about the next one? Let's move on to the next one. The next one says that AI applications have already had a degree of success. Applications of AI have already had a degree of success. They're trying to say that it had, in that time, by that time, it had a degree of success. Have already had means the time they're talking about, by that time, it had already achieved some kind of. So, amra kothay bolbo success, na? Where is that? Where we can read success. Here they are talking about success. So, can we read it and can we say that whether this is 35? 35? Whether they had success.
Ironically, in some ways.
Okay, let's
sound success. Indeed.
Ironically, some ways was whenever an apparently mundane problem was solved, such as building system that could land an aircraft unattended, the problem was deemed not to have been an AI in the first place of it, PLAC. But in fact, it was. That's why they're saying it was not credited. It was solving it, AI, but people didn't realize that it was AI because AI was consisted of 5 or 6 separate areas, and one of them was solving that. So they didn't have a pretty good idea what was AI was all about. If it works, it can be AI. As doctor, because they thought that AI, was not, clever, was not a good one. AI was a failure. So they never could, but in fact, all those successes could be had. Effect of repeatedly moving goalposts in this way was AI came to refer to be blue sky research that was still years away from coming. They think that AI is something, still not achieved. But in fact, in many of the discoveries, AI was playing a role. Researchers joked that AI stood for almost implemented, but never realized. Meanwhile, the technology that made it into the market, such as speech recognition, language translation, were no longer regarded as AI. Yet all three once fell within the umbrella. So all these were playing roles, but those separately, people didn't have much idea that these were part of AI. Then what happened? So is it true, false, or not given? That application had already had a 35 what?
False, sir.
I think it's true.
Yes, it's true. They say it already happened. It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay, this is, I think, not given. This is false, and this is not given. It's true. Because they say that it was successful, but people could not understand it at that time. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one. The problems waiting to be solved by AI has not changed since 1967. Let's check it. But the problems waiting to be solved by AI have not changed since 1967. 1967, let's move on to 1967. The problems still remain same. I mean, the problems didn't change. Can we say for sure? Where is 1967? Is there any 1967? Where is mentioned? I think there is a mention here. There is a mention here. Yeah, 67. Is there any 67?
Point.
Yeah. You see, 1967. Okay, what they're saying, see, Mervyn Minsky said in 1997, within a generation of the problem of creating artificial intelligence would be substantially solved. Means AI would be able to solve everything within what? within a generation, 1967. Prototypes of medical recognition software appeared to be making progress. AJ, this is also important. You see, it proved to be a false dawn. Means it started well, but it didn't materialize. This one, it didn't. AJ, you see, it didn't materialize. It was not working. It was not working. 36. Again, see, in the next one, they even continued here. They even continued here. What is that? It was in D. Here again, see, it is a continuation. Meanwhile, the technologies that made it into the market saw as a separate language and decision separation were no longer regarded as AI. Yet all three once fell within the umbrella. Within the umbrella. What does it mean? Means, you know, the definition change. The definition change. Here, what was regarded? You know, what they thought that if they can change it within, later on the definition change, you know, their contents change. So if it is true, then what can we say? That the problems waiting to be solved by AI have not changed since then. Has it changed or it hasn't?
Changed, sir.
It has changed. Then what? It ki hobe? It a false.
False.
It changed. They say that it's false. And false. But this one is, you know, kind of separated in one part, the other part. So you'll have to understand this is true. Now, the film 2001, A Space Odyssey, reflected contemporary ideas about the potential of AI computers. The film 2001, A Space Odyssey, reflected contemporary ideas about the potential of AI. So contemporary means of the same time. So we are looking for the film AI here. So can we say that that film reflect the contemporary ideas about the potential of AI or not? Can we read it together? In 1969, film's 2000 Space Odyssey featured an intelligent computer called this one, as well as understanding and speaking English. All could play chess and even learn to lip read. All thus encapsulated, incorporated the optimism of the 1960s that intelligent computer would be widespread by 2001. But in 2000 has been gone, and there is still no sign of all-like computers. Individual system can play chess or transcribe, but general theory of machines intelligence still remains exclusive. So have you found the answer? Exclusive. So is it true that the reflective contemporary ideas about the potential of in that film? Yes. In that film, it has been shown that what? It will be able to do something that, yes, it's true. The film reflected contemporary ideas, idea of that time about the potential. They thought that many things can be happen, can be materialized, but did it happen? No. So, but the film itself, it showed. So, is it true, false, or not true? This one?
It's true.
It's true. So, yes, the film did it work, but you know, artificial intelligence couldn't deliver. It delivered, but in a different way. You get my point. What we mentioned, people think that artificial intelligence didn't work. It worked. It became more specialized, more separate areas. Get my point? Okay, now let's move on. The last one, this one. How do you do that? This one, this is the multiple choice. So how do you do that? You know, you remember in 1980s, okay, 19 was filling that 1980s. So we'll look for research is 1980s. We'll look for 1980s. No, 80s means what? From 80 to 89. So would we be able to find 1980 anywhere? Is there any 80? Yes. Probably we look for it. We're looking for number what? Number 38.
In para B.
Number 38. Where is number 38? Okay, can we 38? So we'll have to read that. The general theory of AI would never be developed. Then what else? A general theory of would never be developed. Original expectation of AI may not have been justified. A wide range of applications was close to fruition. Fruition means bearing fruit, means becoming materialized or becoming true. More powerful computers were the key to further progress. So accordingly, 1980, we are feeling that. So we will look for 1980 and what they were feeling. Is it here or it could be in C?
It could be in para B.
Para B. Okay, can we? So we'll have to move on. Can we check para B? No, okay, I think it's para B. And we are talking about here. Let's check it. Sorry. Para B, 1980s. They mentioned 1980s. Here. 1980s here. There was optimism here. You see, they were thinking about optimism. Now let's read it. Says David, there was optimism that a researcher at Indiana University then, when people realized that these were hard problems, there were retrenchment, hardware, and then they won't be able to solve under AI. But the late 80s, the term AI was being avoided by many researchers who opted instead to align themselves with the subspecific discipline, such as neural network, agent technology, case-based reasoning, and so on. So what can we understand? Say they wouldn't have changed it. They wouldn't have termed themselves that, yes, they were more specific. So AI was not delivering. They were thinking, but those subdisciplines were delivering. So from here, what we can say? What can we say? Which one is the correct one? Which one is the correct one? From there. Researchers, they were feeling that in late 80s, not the early one. A general theory of AI would never be developed. Original expectation may never have been justified. A wide range of applications was close to fruition. No, I don't think this is true. So which one? Which one is the correct one?
D.
No, they didn't mention anything. C. Was fruition range of application? No, they didn't mention about application. I think E.
So can I see the para A or A?
Okay, wait. Here, A. Means, what they thought about AI, it was not working. And by 1990, what happens? You see, but vanished in 19. It almost vanished. So it was not, their expectation big in 80s. So it didn't work. But they were moving to subsectors. See, when people, these were hard problems, retrenchment, they were cutting down research. By late 80s, almost 90s, the term was being avoided by many researchers who opted instead to align themselves. They want to align they want to put together themselves together with specific disciplines such as neural data. আমার কথা বুঝছেন? তাহলে কি বলবো? তাহলে if it is true, তাহলে answer কোনটা হবে? এটা হবে original expectations may not have been justified. What they were thinking, it was not. আর
এখানে তো জাস্টিফাইড সম্পর্কে কিছু বলে নাই।
কোনটা?
এই যে অরিজিনাল
জাস্টিফাইড মানে কি? না হলে যদি জাস্টিফাইড না হতো তাহলে তো অন্য জায়গায় যেতই না। they moved on, মানে যতটুকু আশা করা গিয়েছিল এটা বেশি বেশি হয়েছিল, এই জন্য জাস্টিফাইড না, সেই জন্য they moved on to other branches. মানে এআই এর যে অনেকগুলো ব্রাঞ্চ ছিল ওরা বলতো না যে এআই, কারণ এআই এর পুরো রেপুটেশন খারাপ হয়ে গেছে, so they were moving into what sub, the AI যে সাব গুলো, ঠিক আছে? so answer হবে কি B. আচ্ছা, what about the next one? Doctor opinion, the reputation suffered as a result of what? ওই যে ওখানে আমরা we saw it here, এই যে Dr. Leary research, he said then people realized there were heart problems, there were retrenchment. By it is he was saying that, so এটা তো আমরা পড়লাম, তাহলে এখানে কি হবে, এর কোনটা হবে? Lear's reputation of AI suffered, কেন এটা খারাপ হয়েছিল? because changing perception, premature implementation, poorly planned projects and commercial pressures. কোনটার জন্য suffered as a result of কোনটা? 39 কি হবে? 39 premature implementation. No, who told you? When premature, who told you that it was premature implementation? Nothing is said. মানে ওদের কিন্তু পারসেপশন চেঞ্জ, ওদের হচ্ছিল যে এআই কিছুই পারবে না, কিন্তু ওরা বোঝেনি যে many of the success were could be attributed to the AI এর আন্ডারে যেগুলো সাইট ছিল, ঠিক আছে? ওদের আইডিয়াটা ভুল ছিল। It was successful কিভাবে? Through what? Through sub categories, not together, not as a unit, because they were not sure, their expectation was too high. AI is everything, কিন্তু AI বলে তো কিছু নাই, AI হলো প্রত্যেকটার কি কম্বিনেশন। So what they say
perception হবে,
হ্যাঁ এটা বলছে যে এই যে changing perception, the perception change, everything was there, মানে পারসেপশন চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে, আসলে কাজ করছে, কিন্তু পারসেপশন একবার চেঞ্জ হলে কি হচ্ছে, কাজ যদিও ভালো করে তখন কি হবে, কেউ এটাকে দাম দেবে না। আচ্ছা, what about 40? The prospect of AI may benefit from what? The prospect for AI may benefit from what? Existing AI application, new business models, orders from internet-only companies, new investment priorities. Prospect may benefit from কোনটা? 40 আমরা কোনটা দেখব?
Since all of
so is it new business models?
আচ্ছা, আমাদের কিওয়ার্ড কোনটা? আচ্ছা, ওইটা probably you might find it here. আচ্ছা, can we read it here? এখানে আমরা একটু পড়ি। Another factor that may boost, they boost. Okay? The prospect of AI in the near future is that investors are now looking for firms using clever technology. Clever technology মানে কিন্তু কি? Artificial intelligence, rather than just clever business model, to differentiate themselves. In particular, problem of information overload, ওই যে এগুলো বললো না, pages যে এগুলোতে technology, information technology, তাহলে এখান থেকে can we find any information? এখান থেকে can we get an answer that the prospect may benefit, the prospects in the future, existing AI applications or new business models, নাকি order, মানে কি চেঞ্জ হলে এটা হবে, যা আছে এটা দিয়েই কাজ হবে,
new business models,
new business
proper, yeah,
এই যে এখানে investor are now looking for using এটা model rather than a clever business model, মানে মডেল চেঞ্জ করছে, তাহলে কি হবে? তাহলে এখানে কিওয়ার্ড কোনটা ছিল? বেনিফিট না, এগুলো পড়তে হবে। So the answer is new business। বেসিক এইটাই, এখন হচ্ছে এটাকে আরো স্ট্রিমলাইন করতে হবে, মানে যত মিনিমাম পড়ে আপনি এটা সলভ, এইটাই রুল, এইটাই, এর বাইরে কিছু নেই। এটা হচ্ছে এইভাবে you'll have to apply, ঠিক আছে? Okay, I'll be sending it, you can even check it out later on. এখন this is just a এটা একটা স্যাম্পল, you'll have to keep on practicing from Cambridge. আমরা যদি এই যে একটু মনে আছে, if you could find it out, এই যে even before starting এই যে 1980s, প্রথমে যদি এটা একটু দেখে নিই, while we'll be solving the first one, usually আমরা whenever we'll find এই যে 1980s, say you found 1980s, we should have ছোট্ট একটা মার্ক দিলে কি হচ্ছে, you don't have to look for the whole thing. It is easy. 1980 is easy, but what about a word? Finding a word could be difficult. 1980s, these are easy. Now all the name is easy because these are easy to find out. It's abar ekটু difficult because we didn't have any name, we didn't have any numbers. বুঝছেন? আচ্ছা, তাহলে আমরা একটা যেটা দেখলাম যে দেখেন এখানে ইয়েগুলো থাকে, ওই যে আমাদের ওই যে which paragraph. So here it was enough to read 3. It was enough to read 3, 4, 5, 6. It was enough to read line 4 and 5. It was you had to read that one. এখন তাহলে কি, it is enough to read the 4, 5 or 6 lines. I think for these there's no guarantee. Say এখানে দেখেন, এখানে কিন্তু it's not here, it's in the middle. This one almost stretched up to the last. So in which paragraph it's better to read, if you can read quickly the whole idea, because even it could be in the last line as well, that particular information. Okay, so we are kind of done with that. So you have time. যাদের time আছে, you can stay back. আমি 9:30 পর্যন্ত একটু করব. We'll talk about one kind of essay. It's an opinion essay. We'll be doing some essay today. Those who can, if you want to stay back, একটু লেট হয়ে গেছে বুঝছি, আমরা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি একটু পড়বো, তো how to write আমাদের একটা আইডিয়াটা ক্লিয়ার হয়ে যাবে। আচ্ছা, let's start it. So let's check it. First, let's check types of questions. On the task 2, what kind of types of question we might expect during the exam. How much time should you get to write task 2? Anybody there? Are you there?
40 minutes.
Acha, if you were here, we can discuss. There's a 40 minutes. These are the types of essay. This is very important. Amar mone hoy these days is very difficult to score very high. So you must make them understand that you know what you're writing, at least what they want. Acha, opinion essay, discussion essay, problem solution essay, advantage essay, disadvantage. In the last class, we talked about double question essays. Acha, now we are talking about opinion essays. Most answer question fit one of the categories. However, question can be written in many different ways, which can make it difficult to determine which type they are. On this page, I want to give you an overview of all 5 essays as a type with sample question to help you recognize some of the different wording often used. I will also include a basic structure of each that you can use as a guide for easy planning, a vital step in the writing process. I go into each type of question. First, let's see. So there will be 4 basic structure. I recommend that you use task 2. There must be introduction, main
Sir,
body
could you please share the screen?
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not being shared.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I thought that it was being shared. Just a moment. Now you can see it? No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
You can see it now. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are 5 types of 1, opinion essay, discussion essay, problem solution essay, advantage, disadvantage. So you'll have to understand how to write. Okay, see here, all of the essays usually have introduction, main body, paragraph, main. Okay, fine. So let's talk about the opinion essays. What kind of essays are there? These are sometimes called argue or disagree or argumentative essays. One of the most common types of essay in task 2. The first part of the question will be a statement. Will then be asked to give your own opinion about this statement. Here is some typical wording that might. What's that? What's your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? These are the three, very common. Here's an example. Space exploration is much too expensive and the money should be spent on more important things. What is your opinion? These are argumentative essays. A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? This is also opinion essay. Advances in technology and automation have reduced the need for manual labor. Therefore, working hours should be reduced. To what extent do you agree or disagree? This is what this all types are a part of opinion essay. Okay, so how do you do that? Choose one side of argument. Say we will be solving that one. We'll be solving that. Later will come. Discussion essay. What's a discussion essay? Let's see the question only. Some people think that the government should provide free education at every level. However, some say that individuals should pay for the university election. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Many people believe that all zoos should be closed, while others claim that zoos have a positive impact. Discuss both views and give your opinion. This is saying, discuss both. And what about this one? Many governments think that economic progress is their most important goal. Some people, however, think that other types of progress are equally important for a country. Discuss both views and give your opinion. This is what? Discussion essay. This is a problem solving. Problem, they give you a problem and they, yes, this is a problem solving. This is another type of essay. What is this? Overpopulation in many urban centers around the world is a major problem. What are the causes of this? How can this problem be solved? Nowadays, many people have easy access to computers and a large number of children play computer games. That's a games. Okay, what are the negative impacts of playing computer? Computer games. What can be done to minimize? It's a problem and it's a solve. You know, you'll have to write this. Okay, this is one type, and disadvantage. What are the advantage and disadvantage? This is basically, and do you think that advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Discuss the advantages and give your opinion. These are the types of question, and the last one is double question type. Here, what's that? Here, can you see it? Can you see it, guys? Huh? You can see it? Hello?
Yes, sir. We can
yes,
see.
Okay, fine. Now, today we will be discussing about what? The opinion is. We'll be just discussing. Every day, we'll try to, one. You'll have to understand that one. Okay, how do you write the opinion is? How to plan essay? We'll talk about that. What is the question? Question is, as I mentioned, we'll be dealing with this question. A big salary is much more important than a job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? This is the question. Give reasons for your answer. Include any relevant example from your own. So whatever relevant, if you can, you must give, and knowledge and experience. Okay, so I will be using this question to guide you through the process of planning and writing. So common mistake. What is the mistake people usually do? Not stating an opinion. They don't say, that one, which one is good? Is it satisfaction or it's the money? You're not saying anything. That's a big problem. Giving arguments for both views. You are supporting both the views. It's better not to do that. It's better to do one. And clear, not supporting your opinion with clear reason. This must be there. The most common mistake that students make is not giving an opinion, because they are asking for opinion. The question will clearly state that you must choose one side of the argument. If you fail to do this, we'll get a low score for task achievement. What was the question? Give reasons. Do you disagree, or it's better not to go for agree and disagree? So it's better to agree or disagree. Take one side. That's easier. Now let's move on to the essay structure. Now let's look at simple structure. Introduction, paraphrase the question, give your opinion, and state two supporting reasons. This is an easy structure. If you can write it, write it. Whatever you write, it must be a proper structure. That's the key. That's the key. It could be a short one. It could be at least it's 250 words. That will do. Main body paragraph. There will be a main body paragraph. See, Topic sentence will later we'll say, outline the first reason for supporting this view, explanation, explain the idea, example. You see, you're starting with a topic sentence, the main idea, then you're providing an explanation. You're not bringing in too many ideas, because if you bring in too many ideas, you'll not be able to provide sufficient explanation and sufficient example. What about main body paragraph? So to make, this is also another one. Topic sentence, we'll check it later on. Outline the second reason for supporting this view. Explain the same way. Conclusion, summarize opinion, and the structure will give us a well-balanced four paragraphs. We now need some ideas to add into the structure, and we'll have everything we need for essay. How to plan the essay? Decide on your opinion first. Which one you're going to say? What do you think? Is it the salary is more important or job satisfaction? What do you think? Guys, how you are
I think job satisfaction is more important than salary.
Okay, let's see how they have. The question I have chosen to work is quite straightforward and easy to understand. So we don't have to spend too much time on analyzing the question. The first task then is to decide on here's the question about Puri. For this essay, I'm going to disagree with this statement and argue that job satisfaction is more important than a big salary. Do you agree in most of the cases? Or salary? What do you think? Satisfaction. Okay, because you'll have to deal it throughout your life. Generate ideas. How do you generate ideas? That's the second step. The second step is to generate some ideas to write about. Since I'm going to argue that job satisfaction is more important than a large salary, I need ideas to support this view. আমাকে support করতে হবে. There are several ways to think it up. I covered them fully on the idea planning. আপনার এই ওয়েবসাইটে আমি পাঠিয়ে দেব, আপনি এটা ক্লিক করে এটা দেখে নিন যদি if you want to go in deep. আমরা শুধু এই এসেতে থাকছি আজকে. Today we are dealing with only this essay. With this particular question, I immediately thought of a couple of example of situation where job satisfaction did prove to be more important because I'm supporting that than high salary. So I'm going to use the example method of generating ideas. Once you have thought of an example or two, ideas to include in your essay should come to you easily. Which idea? You may want to try this yourself before reading onto your ideas. Here's my examples and some ideas they generated. Both the examples are pretty true, but I have adapted them to better fit the essay. It's fine to do this as examiner won't check your facts. আমার এক্সাম্পল কোনটা? আমি এক্সাম্পল থেকে এসেছি। এক্সাম্পল হলে কি হবে? আমি আইডিয়াটা আরো স্ট্রং হবে because I must provide example. Uncle Berry, as a personal example, boasted about high salary but hated his job. Nervous breakdown, lost job and can't work. ঠিক আছে, এটা একটা এক্সাম্পল। I thought about example. আরেকটা হচ্ছে আমার নিজের ব্যাপারে probably I thought about example, give up teaching. Now enjoy work. Now enjoy my work and am much more relaxed and happy even though I earn less money. Probably I was also teaching and something I was not enjoying. আর এখানে হলো he was not enjoying. Two example. আচ্ছা, এটা থেকে ideas develop করছি. High salary jobs, এখানে হলো example. এই দুইটা example use করব. High salary jobs are generally more stressful. Stress leads to ill health, both mental and physical. 40 hours a week, you work a third of the day. A week at work, a lot of money doesn't bring happiness, better quality of life, sense of fulfillment. The money does not. Less stress, healthier. So this is one side. This is one side. I just put down the ideas. I have more ideas here than I needed, so I'm going to pick two ideas in the essay, one for each of the main body paragraph. First body paragraph will be high salary jobs are generally more stressful and can lead to ill health. আমার ফার্স্ট আইডিয়া হবে এইটা। সেকেন্ডটা হচ্ছে জব স্যাটিসফ্যাকশন গিভ আ সেন্স অফ ফুলফিলমেন্ট। ফার্স্টে হচ্ছে যে আমি যেটা সাপোর্ট করছি না সেটা দিয়ে আইডিয়া দেবো, আর সেকেন্ডটা হচ্ছে যেটা আমি সাপোর্ট করছি যে আই এম মোর। তো এখানে একটা এক্সাম্পল, এখানে একটা এক্সাম্পল। উই অলমোস্ট রেডি টু স্টার্ট রাইটিং দ্য আইএলটিএস অপিনিয়ন এসে। এই যে দেখেন, এটা কিন্তু ভালো করে খেয়াল করবেন হাউ দে হ্যাভ স্ট্রাকচার্ড ওয়ান। ইফ ইউ হ্যাভেন্ট স্ট্রাকচার্ড ইট ওয়েল, try to read, try to understand. If it is proper, then it's good. It's not only about just writing. In an IELTS, it's important to be able to say the same things in different ways, either by paraphrasing or using synonyms. During the planning stage, quickly jot down a few synonyms of keywords you could use to save your having to stop and think about it. যেমন satisfaction. এটা কোথায় আছে? আমাদের ওরা কোয়েশ্চেনে দিয়েছে, ওখান থেকে আমি কিছু ওয়ার্ড বের করলাম, কারণ এই ওয়ার্ডটা ঘুরে ফিরে আসবে। ফুলফিলমেন্ট, আপনার এই ওয়ার্ডগুলো কিওয়ার্ড, এগুলো লিখতেই হবে ঘুরিয়ে ফিরে। সেন্স অফ ওয়েলবিং, সেন্স অফ অ্যাকমপ্লিশমেন্ট, কন্টেন্ট, স্যালারি, income, wages, pay, earnings, important, significant, valued, job, work, employment, position. With that done, you can focus on the first paragraph of the essay. How to write the introduction. Introduction, a good introduction has simple three-part structure. Paraphrase question. You'll have to paraphrase. After a introduction, clearly what you have been assigned to. আমাকে যাতে question না পড়তে হয়। Paraphrase question, নিজের ভাষায় লিখতে হবে। Thesis statement, it must be there. Thesis statement, what's your position? And online, আচ্ছা এইটা এখানে দিয়েছে, sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not important. Let's check it out. Introduction must have 2 to 3 sentences, be 40 to 60 words long, take 5 minutes to write. Introductionটা কিন্তু একটু চিন্তা করে আপনাকে লিখতে হবে। আচ্ছা, paraphrase the question first. Paraphrase মানে in your own words, but you cannot deviate. Start your introduction by paraphrasing the question. How? A question to that. A big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? How can we change it? Can we change it right? They're saying that a big salary is much more important. It is argued that earning lots of nijer bhashay likhchi has more significance to people than being content in their works. আমি কিন্তু এইটাই লিখেছি, nothing else. কেউ যদি এইটা পড়ে, if someone reads that, you will be able to understand this idea, same idea, but in my own words. Now, note that I have used some of the synonyms I have listed. Although it's fine to repeat 1 or 2 words if you need. Ekta duita repeat korle problem nai. You might. All above your language must sound natural, very important, natural. Jate porte bhalo lage. Thesis statement. Now the most important sentence. Thesis hocche where you state your position. Khub dorkar. This essay totally disagrees with this statement. This is a very easy one. The reader is very clear. The essay totally disagrees with this statement. That's all you need to say. If you decided to agree with this statement, you'd write. The essay completely agrees with this statement. I mean, just an example. There are lots of other essays you can write, but concept is clear. It must be the concept must be clear. You are clear about what you're saying. Outline statement. It is common, but এই essay is very important. Finally, in the introduction, you must outline the 2 main points above, and you will cover the rest of the essay. Do it in 1 sentence, so you can add them onto the end of the thesis sentences appropriate. ঠিক আছে? এই যে outline sentence is after the thesis sentence. What they're writing, I believe that people are increasingly concerned about the risk of stress-related ill health frequently experienced by people in highly paid position, and they care more about feeling unfulfilled at work. এইটা দিয়ে এখানে কিন্তু বলে দিচ্ছে, এটা হলো লাস্ট থিসিস মানে ইন্ট্রোডাকশনের লাস্ট সেন্টেন্স। এইটা দিয়ে আমি বুঝছি, দেখেন খুব সুন্দর করে লিখেছে যে আই এম গোইং টু সাপোর্ট, মানে they are becoming more concerned about stress related এবং they are caring more about feeling fulfilled. তাহলে একটা প্যারাগ্রাফ হবে about this one, আরেকটা প্যারাগ্রাফ হবে about this one. এটা নেগেটিভ, এটা হচ্ছে পজিটিভ, এটা এগেইনস্ট, এটা হচ্ছে ফেভার। আপনি কিন্তু এটা তো সব বুঝে লিখেছে, they know what they're writing. তারপর ইন্ট্রোডাকশন, তাহলে ফুল ইন্ট্রোডাকশন হচ্ছে it is argued that earning lots of money has more significance to people than being content in their work. This essay, it all a paraphrase. This essay totally disagrees with that statement. I believe that people, it's a thesis sentence. Thesis sentence, what's that? Is this one. This is thesis sentence. And last step, I believe that people are increasingly concerned about the risk of health related. This is the negative aspect, and it a positive aspect. They care more about feeling fulfilled. এটা কিন্তু সব বুঝে লিখছে, আন্দাজে কিচ্ছু লিখছে না। এভরি সেন্টেন্স কাউন্টস। Very technical writing. The introduction achieves three important functions. What? It shows that the examiner that you understand the question. আপনি যদি এইভাবে লিখতে পারেন, আপনি বুঝাচ্ছেন যে you understood the question. It acts as a guide to examine what your essay is about. এটা বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে আমি কি নিয়ে লিখছি, এটা আমি বুঝতে পেরেছি। It also helps to keep focus and on track in your essay. হ্যাঁ, যেহেতু আপনি বলেই দিয়েছেন যে আপনি কি করছেন, ও তখন বুঝতে পারবে আপনি আগে থেকে যে কি করছেন। আচ্ছা, the two ideas in your interview will become your two main. প্রথমটা concerned about health risk, এটা নিয়ে আমি ফার্স্ট প্যারাগ্রাফ লিখবো, আর সেকেন্ড প্যারাগ্রাফ হচ্ছে a sense of fulfillment and growth. এটা পজিটিভ, এটা নেগেটিভ। প্রথমে নেগেটিভ দিয়ে পরে পজিটিভ। How to write the main body paragraph? আমরা ইন্ট্রোডাকশন শেষ। The structure of a এই ওয়েবসাইট ইজ প্রিটি গুড। এখানে কম জিনিস দিয়েছে, কিন্তু খুব অনেক ওয়েবসাইটে অনেক কিছু লিখেছে। অন্যগুলো খারাপ আমি বলবো না, দিস ইজ প্রিটি গুড। আই এম কোয়াইট হ্যাপি। ভেরি কনসাইজ, ভেরি ক্লিয়ার। আসলে পরীক্ষার সময় আপনি অত লিখতে পারেন না, বেশি লিখতে গেলে আপনি উল্টাপাল্টা লেখাটার সম্ভাবনা বেশি হয়। এটা খুব বোঝার চেষ্টা করেন। এই
IELTSJackie.com।
হ্যাঁ, প্রিটি গুড। এমন তো আরো অনেক আছে, কিন্তু আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে আই এম কোয়াইট হ্যাপি। একটা যে সেন্টেন্স বলেন, এই বলেন, নট ব্যাড। আলটিমেটলি কি জানেন, 40 মিনিটে কিন্তু একটা কমপ্লিট এসে লেখা ইটস নট ইজি। তখন এত বুঝে লেখা যায় না। সেই জন্য আপনি ইউ মাস্ট মানে ক্লিয়ারলি 270 থেকে 80 ওয়ার্ড লিখলেও হবে। If you can think of an example, you can add further supporting ideas. But we already have our two examples. দেখছেন এক্সাম্পল নিয়ে এসেছিল প্রথমে, তারপর আইডিয়া। A common problem when writing main body paragraph for IELTS opinion essay is having too many ideas. আপনি যদি বেশি আইডিয়া নিয়ে যান, তখন কিন্তু আবার এসব লিখতেই পারবেন না। তখন এতগুলো আপনি এক্সাম্পল আনতে পারবেন না। এক্সাম্পল ছাড়া, এক্সপ্লেনেশন ছাড়া ওই আইডিয়াগুলো it's not viable. Again, we have already chosen two ideas we are going to develop, so we are all set to start writing. You can see how important the planning stage is and how it makes the actual writing of the essay perfect. Main body paragraph, first one, এটা কি আমরা পজিটিভ না নেগেটিভ? আমরা কিন্তু নেগেটিভ নিয়ে কথা বলেছি। স্যার, আমরা ফার্স্ট আইডিয়াটা নেগেটিভ হবে। দি টপিক সেন্টেন্স, এটা ওই সেন্টেন্সটা পড়লেই আমি বুঝবো এই সেন্টেন্সটা কি দিয়ে শুরু হবে, নেগেটিভ আইডিয়া। Summarize the main idea of the paragraph. That's all it needs to do so, if it doesn't have to be complicated. আসলে কমপ্লিকেটেড হতে হবে না, ওরা যা চাচ্ছে আপনাকে দিতেই হবে। আপনি কমপ্লিকেটেড লিখলেও কিন্তু মার্ক পাবেন না। It plays an important role in ensuring that your ideas flow logically from one to another. It does this by acting as a signpost for what is next to come. That is what the paragraph will be about. If you maintain a clear development of ideas towards the essay, you will get high marks for task achievement and cohesion and coherence. We will now take the idea for our first main body paragraph and create our topic sentence. Concerns about the risk of stress. Main idea, এটা নিয়ে আমি বলবো যে আসলে এটা নিয়ে অনেকে টেনশন বেড়ে গেছে। টপিক সেন্টেন্স কি হবে? Employees earning a large income are generally under significant mental and emotional pressure to perform well and achieve targets. এর পরের সেন্টেন্স গুলো কি হবে, এটা প্রুফ করবেন কিভাবে কিভাবে হচ্ছে, কি হচ্ছে, এক্সাম্পল দেবেন। এটা পড়লে কিন্তু বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে এই প্যারাগ্রাফের মেইন আইডিয়া। Next, we must write an explanation sentence. What's that? This explanation to the examiner what we mean. এটা বললে ও বুঝে যাবে এটা না, আপনাকে এক্সপ্লেইন করতে হবে। It expands our first idea. Explanation sentence কি হচ্ছে? This causes many individuals to suffer high levels of stress which can result in both mental and physical health problem. ঠিক আছে, এটা কিন্তু ওর পরে। তারপর কি, finally we add an example to support our main point. I thought of this in the planning stage, so I have ready to use. If you can't think of a real example, it's fine to make up one as long as it's believable. The examiner isn't going to check your facts. This happened to my uncle. He used to boast about his huge salary, but the boss kept increasing his sales targets, and in the end, the stress became too great and he had a nervous breakdown. Now he regrets being driven by money. ঠিক আছে, so এটা দিয়ে প্রুভ হয়ে যাচ্ছে যে this one you have proved that এই আইডিয়াটা, প্রথমটার যে আইডিয়াটা, this one, এইটা প্রথম হলো যে মেইন আইডিয়া, যে topic sentence, main idea. Now what you are doing, 2 number, it's a positive. Job satisfaction gives a sense of fulfillment. First, we write topic sentence to summarize the main idea. Having a job that they enjoy doing and in which they feel valued is a major concern for most of the modern workforce. Now for the explanation sentence to explain this idea. Explanation sentence. A significant number of people are giving up well-paid positions to do jobs which pays less, but they find more enjoyable and less stressful. Giving up well-paid, এই ছোট কাজ করার জন্য একটু কম যেখানে salary. Finally, an example to support our main point as before. Example sentence কি হচ্ছে? I'm an example of myself, A year ago, I left the teaching profession because the workload had become too great, and I am now a gardener. That's it, বিদেশে gardener হয়ে গেছে. I feel really fulfilled in this work, and I'm much more relaxed and happy even though I earn far less. আচ্ছা, there is the 3 parts of your আচ্ছা কি কি হচ্ছে? Having a job that they enjoy doing in which they feel valued is a major concern for most of বেশি কিন্তু লিখতে হচ্ছে না, দেখেন যা লিখছি solid লিখছি. A significant number of people are giving up well-paid position to do jobs which pays less but that they find more enjoyable and less stressful. I'm an example of this myself. A year ago, I gave up the teaching profession because the workload had become too great, and I'm now a gardener. I feel really fulfilled in this job, and I'm much more relaxed and happy even though I earn far less money. Now we need a conclusion, and our IELTS opinion essay is done. Conclusion কিভাবে লিখবেন? Of the essay opinion should do 2 things. Summarize the main points. আপনি যে মেইন পয়েন্ট দিয়ে বেশি মেইন পয়েন্ট তো নাই, সো আমাদের আর স্টেটের ওপিনিয়ন এটাও দিতে হবে। তাহলে কি হচ্ছে? This can generally be done. আমি এটার লিংক পাঠিয়ে দেবো, হ্যাঁ, ইমেইলে পাঠিয়ে দেবো. You can even check it out. If you're below 250 words after you have written your conclusion, you can add additional prediction or recommendation statement. Our essay currently has 233 words, so we are on target and we need this extra sentence, but you can learn more about how to write prediction or recommendation statement. It has to conclusion page. They also have a page. The conclusion is the easiest sentence in the essay to write, but one of the most important. A good conclusion will have what? Neatly end the essay, link all your ideas together, sum up your argument or opinion, answer the question. If you achieve this, you will improve your score for both task achievement and cohesion, equal criteria, which together make a 50% of the overall marks. Without a conclusion, you will score below band 6 for task achievement. দেখছেন, এটা কোন কারণে না লিখতে পারলে আপনার band 6 অথবা less হবে. You can start almost any final paragraph of an IELTS opinion essay with the words, এইটা big deal না, কি লিখলেন? বেশি বাহারি লিখলে মার্ক আসবে এইটা না, কিন্তু কোনটা বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট? এটা থাকাটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট. Now you will need to do is to briefly summarize the main ideas into one sentence. Here is top tip. Top tip to go back and read the introduction to the essay because it is also a summary of the essay. It outlines what we are going to write about. To create a great conclusion, you simply have to paraphrase the introduction. Let's দেখি কিভাবে করেছে. It is argued that earning lots of money has more significance to people than being content in their work. This essay totally disagrees. এটা হলো আমাদের introduction ছিল. I believe that people are increasingly concerned about the risk of stress-related ill health frequently experienced by people in highly position, and they care more about feeling. এই যে দেখছেন অপোজিট আইডিয়াটা দুইটা কিন্তু দিয়ে দিয়েছে এবং মোটামুটি ইনডিরেক্টলি বুঝিয়ে দিয়েছে ও কোন দিকে। এটাও তো বলার দরকার নেই, আগে তো বলেই দিয়েছে যে আগে আই ডিসএগ্রি। তারপর হিয়ার ইজ সাব, এটা কিন্তু এক্সপ্লেনেশন, এটা এই ডিসএগ্রি কেন করছে এটা সুন্দর করে বুঝিয়ে দিয়েছে। হিয়ার ইজ দ্য সেম ইনফরমেশন form in the conclusion. ঘুরিয়ে লিখেছে, in conclusion, for a high percentage of population, earning a substantial wage is less important than job satisfaction because of the negative effects of job-related stress and the desire to feel happy and fulfilled at work. কোনো নতুন এক্সট্রা ইনফরমেশন নাই, কিন্তু এটাকে ঘুরিয়ে লিখেছে। আপনি আরো অনেক জায়গায় পড়তে পারেন how to write conclusion. ইন্টারনেটে প্রচুর জায়গায় I will suggest, আমি বেশ কিছু লিংক দরকার পাঠিয়ে দেবো, ওইগুলো দেখবেন ক্লিয়ার। কিন্তু বেশি কি আবার বেশি দেখলে হয় আপনি বেশি কনফিউজ হয়ে যাবেন। That's it. We have completed our essay. Here is a 4th paragraph. এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা, দিস ইজ দ্য হোল প্যারাগ্রাফ। আচ্ছা, আমরা পড়ে তারপর আজকে এটা আমরা শেষ করছি। দেখছি যে আজকে কি দেখলাম আমরা, একটা we have seen a argument essay. এটা কিন্তু খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। এই যে দেখেন, আমি যা চাচ্ছি সেটাই কিন্তু লিখেছি, আমি ইচ্ছা মতো বেশি কিন্তু লিখিনি। ইন্ট্রোডাকশনে হবে থিসিস সেন্টেন্স, তারপর এখানে অবশ্য আউটলাইন দেখেছে, আউটলাইন ইন সাম কেসেস ইউ মে নট রাইট। তারপর এখানে কি বডি প্যারাগ্রাফ, এখানে হচ্ছে আমি নেগেটিভ যেটা আমি সাপোর্ট করি না ওইটা আইডিয়া নিয়ে করেছি। এখানে হচ্ছে ফার্স্টে টপিক সেন্টেন্স, তারপর এটা এক্সপ্লেনেশন, এন্ড ফাইনালি এক্সাম্পল। টপিক সেন্টেন্স, এক্সপ্লেনেশন, আমি কিন্তু 3-4টা আইডিয়া আনিনি, কারণ এতগুলো লিখতে গেলে কোনোটাই ডেভেলপ করা হয় না। আর কনক্লুশনটা এইটাকে সুন্দর করে লিখেছে। আপনি আরো ভালো করে লিখতে পারেন, আপনি আরো you can check out other, say how to write conclusion, গুগল করেন, ভিডিও দেখেন, you'll be able to do that. এটা ফাইনালি একবার পড়ে we'll finish our today's class. আচ্ছা, কি বলছি, it is argued that তাহলে আমাদের ছিল whether earning money in a high paid job with lots of stress is good, or working for in a work that you enjoy but with less salary. It is argued that earning lots of money has more significance to people than being content in their work. This essay totally disagrees with that statement. এটা খুব সুন্দর করে লিখতে হবে। ও যদি না বোঝে আপনি কি করছেন, বললেনই না, আপনার মার্ক কমে যাবে, গ্যারান্টি। I believe that people are increasingly concerned about the risk of stress-related ill health frequently experienced by people in healthy and positions and healthy paid positions, and they care more about feeling fulfilled at work. First paragraph, মানে আমি সাপোর্ট করছি না। Employees who earn a large income are generally under significant mental and emotional pressure to perform well and achieve targets. This causes many individuals to suffer a high level of stress, which can result in mental health problems. This happened to my uncle. He used to boast about his huge salary, but the boss kept increasing his salary targets, and in the end, the stress became too great and he had a nervous breakdown. Now he regrets being driven by money. Having a job that they enjoy doing and in which they feel valued is a major concern for most of the modern workforce. A significant number of people are giving up paid job position to do jobs which pays less, but they find more enjoyable and less stressful. I'm an example of this myself. A year ago, I left the teaching profession because the workload had become too great, and I'm now a gardener. I feel really fulfilled in this work, and I'm much more relaxed and happy, even though I earn far less money. In conclusion, for a high percentage of the population, earning a substantial wage is less important than job satisfaction because of the negative effects of work-related stress and the desire to feel happy and fulfilled. So they have written 272 words. You must write more than 250 words. Is, I, am, these are all words. So I don't think it's going to be a challenge. Okay, so this is for today. So you can, there are lots of, I can also provide you different kind of good essays, but you have to basically, I'm not saying that you'll have to write this one, whatever they have written, but the idea, how you structured the ideas, then you can use your own ideas, no problem. But structuring the ideas is very important. So it makes reading easy. They know that you know what I expect or an examiner expect, and you're just giving it. And okay, this after that, this after that, this after that, and I'll be able to give you mark. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's check it out. And so this is IELTS Jackie. I'll bring in different kind of nice websites. Even there are few ones better than others, and sometimes we'll talk about those websites as well. These are not bad websites. These are pretty good websites. Okay, so okay, so any question, anybody? Any question? I'll be sending all the emails after this class, what we have done today. So you can even, if you want to check it out, you can even check it out. Any question? Listen, whatever you do, you must understand. I'm saying that you must understand the structure. Even the essay, whether you are really understanding the essay, I'm writing this, and this is part of introduction. I'm writing this. This is part of example. I'm writing this. This is part of explanation. I'm writing this. This is part of kind of a conclusion to a paragraph. Just don't write for the sake of writing, because each of the sentences has a reason to be there. Okay, so it saves you time, and you are fulfilling all the sentences. It doesn't matter whether you're writing in Bengali or whether you're writing as English, but the ideas must flow. So what are the 4 criteria? Say the first one is task response, and these one, answering the question is part of the task response. 9. You have cohesion and cohesion and coherence and cohesion. This also 9. You have range, grammatical range and accuracy. This has 9. And the last one is vocabulary range and accuracy. So each of has, how many? 4.
Okay.
Each of them have 9, and whatever you get, they will add up all 9, 9, 9, 9, whatever you get, and they divide it by 4, and that's your IELTS task 1 and task 2 score. So, try to be objective. First, try to know what they want, and then other than that, they won't be able to give you marks. It's very difficult. Life becomes very difficult if you write whatever you like. They cannot, they cannot assign that this one, complies or conforms with task achievement. This idea conform with, it could be what, coherence, because you're just writing, the way you want. And first understand that, then try to, be creative. Okay. Any question, anybody? Anybody? Any question? Anybody here? Are you here? Anybody or no?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, good. So any question? So every week we'll be discussing. Sometimes what happens, everything is there, but we don't watch. We don't have the passion. We don't want to go, but try to understand. Try to have a idea about yourself. Yes, it works like that. Then move on. Please.
So I have a question regarding reading. First of all, you told about the difference between yes, no, or true, false. I can't guess what you said. It's not clear to me. And
which one?
Difference difference between yes, no, and true, false. Question. The difference, and what will be the strategy of reading the questions first? These are the 2 questions from my side.
Which one? Reading yes, no, not
given.
Reading.
Yes, no. What is the difference between the yes, no, not given?
Yes, false? No, not given. Yes is, it must be there. You will be able
the difference between true, false, or yes, no. Question pattern.
Oh, I see. True, false, and yes, no. I think true, false is what? Whether it agrees with the writer's opinion. One is writer's, one is what's written there. One is writer's opinion. In some cases, you will find, yes, true, false.
True, false.
Am I wrong or no? Sometimes, we don't, true, false.
Writer's perception.
Perception. If it's writer's perception, it's what? True, false. Anybody can help me? Actually, we don't. Okay. Yes. No. True, false. True, false is it writer or no? Okay. I'll get it clear. I'll get it clear properly. So, okay. Well, why don't you just give me a moment? Let me check it. True, false, not given. Just a moment. Okay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you there? Okay, so yes, no, not given. Yes, no, not given is opinion. The writer's opinion or whatever opinion state. And true, false, not given is fact. Whether it matches with the fact completely. Okay, so if it is fact, the problem is sometimes what happens, you say it, after 1 month, if you don't check it out, you tend to what mix it up sometimes. So yes, true, yes, no, not given is fact. No, true, false, true, false,
True,
not
false is
given
fact.
is fact.
And yes, no,
yes, no,
opinion.
not given is opinion. It could be writer's opinion or this opinion stated in the passage.
Okay.
Okay, that one. The problem is, now, after 2 months, if I ask you again, you see that because while solving, you're not going to probably remember that much. You'll keep on doing, but I think it's better to think in that way. Definitely, there must be a reason. Other than that, they wouldn't have, differentiated that. Okay. Anybody else?
Another question is that how I will attack the question. How I will read the question first. You have told that I have to read the last question first.
Last question, yes.
Okay.
As little as possible. Listen, I'm not saying it's a must, but if you do that, what happens while doing the first one, if the first one is a heading, or is the first one is a, which paragraph, or is the first one a different kind of question. If you come across that, say, last year question টা আপনি দেখলেন 1970 লেখা আছে একেবারে প্রথম লাস্টের যে টাইপ অফ কোয়েশ্চেন 70 সো ফার্স্টে যদি অন্যটাই করছেন আপনি ওইটা হলো 3 টাইপ লাস্টের টাইপে it started with 1970 even if you're doing the first one if you come across 1970 ছোট্ট একটা মার্ক দিয়ে রাখবেন তাহলে কি হবে পরে যখন আপনি ওখানে গিয়ে তখন আর খুঁজতে হবে না আপনাকে আপনি তো অলরেডি জানেন কোথায় আমার কথা বুঝছেন আর ইচ্ছা করলে তো আপনি আবার মানে আমি বলছি না আপনি এটা প্র্যাকটিস করে দেখবেন আপনি কোনো সময় আপনি পিছন থেকে এগোবেন কারণ পিছন থেকে এগোলে যে এটা সুবিধা আপনার হয়তোবা বড় জোর হতে পারে 5 সেকেন্ড কি 10 সেকেন্ড 15 সেকেন্ড লাগতে পারে কিন্তু পরে যদি আপনাকে আবার খুঁজতে হয় ওই 15 সেকেন্ডের জায়গায় you might even have to spend 2 minutes you might get very confused অত মনে থাকে না বুঝছেন
আমি কি স্যার ওই যে এইটা করব শুধু কোশ্চেনটা করব না একটা অপশন সহ করব
না অপশন পড়বেন না আর না হলে আপনি এসেন অনলাইনে আমি দেখিয়ে দেব আপনাকে ঠিক আছে আপনি আরেক সময় দেখেন আমি আপনাকে কোশ্চেন সহ দেখিয়ে দেব ডোন্ট ওয়ারি এক্স্যাক্টলি আই উইল শো ইউ ঠিক আছে ডোন্ট ওয়ারি দ্যাট লাগলে আমি এক্স্যাক্টলি দেখিয়ে দেব আপনি খুব ক্লিয়ার হয়ে যাবেন এটা কঠিন কিছু আচ্ছা এনি কোশ্চেন এনিবডি yes okay acha তাহলে let's call it a day today and hopefully tomorrow we'll meet for a GRE session at 7 first একটা introduction একটু করব 10 minutes before ঠিক আছে আচ্ছা তারপর আমরা then we'll move on to GRE it's going to be around 2 hours classes hopefully we'll be covering the sentence equivalence sentence completion essay and the reading the GRE reading and also the vocabulary at the beginning ঠিক আছে তাহলে I hope you have a nice day ahead of you and okay it's almost night and a good sleep and nice day tomorrow as well. Hopefully we might meet tomorrow. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Okay.
Thank you. See you again.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Good night.